Stop being so mad.
Yeah, dude, it'll be okay.
Oh no,
Why are you so mad?
preparing to launch the update.
Why you have to be mad? It's on the game.
I made my pretzels and
It's
just
on the
sit
game.
here and have you guys listen to them munch
Why you
away.
have to be mad?
Hey guys, how was the week?
This is good, man.
Yes,
Like, pretty good.
Hey.
Woo.
Alright, let's see, what the fuck did Wednesday do last time? In a nutshell, you rounded off your little bit of business at the Drow City, went off into the Underdark, and promptly got plowed by a bunch of creatures that live there.
So plowed.
Just near the end of it, though, having survived the encounter with the creature,
Oh fuck.
tensions boiled over between a couple of NPC and player characters here, ending with one of them near death and a strange predicament. It might be worse, in fact, that one of them did not die, or at least from some points of view. So as we come back to this scene here, Carrick, you have just run down this slope and come over towards Verth, who has stopped you from traveling further. And Jader, who lays down on the ground in a pool of his own blood, is staring up into the darkness of the ceiling above and breathing heavily, thinking upon something. Behind you,
Now he
Clotho
hates
is
all
in
of
bear
us.
form, and up on the ridge, Aldrin is there. What do you guys want to do?
I'm waiting for Verth to take the lead on this one.
Might not
I'll
be a bad
pause.
idea.
I'll pause for a moment because Jader asked for a moment.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and make my way up the cliff.
Okay.
Eventually end up.
Jader lays here on the ground for a while, and a minute or so goes by until eventually he rolls over onto his side here, coughs, and you can hear the sound of liquids, likely more of his own blood, splattering onto the ground. And he eventually sits himself up and just kind of stares off into the distance, sort of down the hill here, as he's sitting in the dirt.
Jader,
Yeah.
when this is all through, I'll give you the death you want so badly. I just can't take it now. Do you understand?
I understand that you've decided to turn away from the traditions of our people. That's what I understand.
If I don't, then the traditions of our people won't survive. Our people won't survive this.
Earth, what's your task that you're out here to do?
Initially, what my clan sent me out for was to track down one Neil Sparkowski, a mere trinket, a plaything. I don't think I'll ever find him.
So did you lose your way after having gone, or did you know in your heart that this would be what happened even before you left? Because when I left, I had every intention of following things out till the end, let's say.
I had every intention to seek this gnome out. However, there's a bigger, more important mission that's been laid before me.
He pauses for a second before eventually turning over his shoulder here. He doesn't look towards you, but does kind of look in your rough general direction. He says, if you truly think that that's worth putting aside all of the traditions of our people, I'll put my mission aside as well.
You don't need to abandon yours. Just postpone it for the time being. I'm sorry.
He starts to get up to his feet, and it's clear that he's a little bit shaky, but he manages on his own. And walks back over to you, and he says, forgive me if I'm quiet for the next bit of travel.
It's understandable. And I'll stand up, and I'll put my hand out to shake his hand.
While he shakes your hand, he holds on to it for a bit longer, and he says, just doesn't seem right.
What doesn't?
To turn away from all the tradition like this. I see what you're saying. Get me wrong. I understand that you have something else that you feel that you must do. I just don't feel that way.
It's a bit ironic of me to turn from tradition to protect it. Don't you think?
Strange, I'll give you that. Do you truly intend to go and hunt down this trinket that you're after? I mean, the reason I ask is, if you do, and you still prosper, clanless, well, I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe life clanless would be better than no life at all. Fuck, what am I saying? He lets go of your hand and he turns around to walk away.
We'll talk more later. And I'll start making my way up towards the cliffside where Lotho and Aldrin are.
Okay. Jader climbs back up as well, and Carrick, do you mention anything as you travel with Verth back towards the rest of the group?
Carrick is completely out of his element with all of this talk, so no, just gonna follow.
Okay. What is the plan from here on out?
First of all, I'll walk up to Aldrin. I'll walk straight up to him, look him right in the eye. I'll take a knee, and I will apologize. Say, Aldrin, forgive me for what I've done. It was what I believe the only way to resolve this without one of you dying. You can cook up some silly punishment for me when this is all said and done.
You shouldn't be the one apologizing. I was kind of the one that inflicted all of this shit. I am
super
just
super
going to
surprised
stay
reaction
away.
when he says that.
I'm just gonna kind of keep my distance between him and I, just because, I mean, I'm not gonna fight him or attempt to kill him or anything. Saying that in complete honesty, not like joking, just so everybody knows.
Okay.
That's the way it sounded. But yeah, but I'll keep my distance from him and let him be on his own there and let you guys keep conversation with him, because him and I are not really on the best terms. I mean, I tried apologizing, but we all saw how that went. So,
With my knee in the ground, I'll put my hand on his shoulder and I'll say, just keep your eye on the prize, my friend. I'll pat him, and then I'll stand back up.
and I'll whisper over, I'll be like, free beer for the both of us. On Carrick's dime. Carrick does not hear this.
Can I roll to hear it?
Yeah.
Do it. Oh,
I
wait,
can't
gotta
roll, so...
I gotta
if
open up the stream. I want to see what happens.
Roll a stealth check if you would for me, please, Aldrin. And Carrick.
I'm actually-
I can't because my tabletop's not open.
I'm
uh,
actually
My
putting up
tabletop's
my
updating
tabletop here. But,
I'm doing the same. Mine's got a
Yeah.
minute 58 left.
16 verse. Yeah, you would hear.
I'll kind of cough. Aldrin, as much as I would like to help you, I do have my kind of stomach open right now. Do you mind if we postpone the drinks and maybe find a place to rest?
I mean, we're not going to get drinks right now, but I mean, once we get to the nearest town, you're paying. Man, you gotta pay up a little.
Right, okay. Well, let's work with finding a little place to rest if you guys don't mind. Not
I
feeling so
agree.
hot.
I look at myself and I look at Jader, and I'll say, we might need a little rest too.
Okay. Is everybody going to short rest here or long rest?
Hell yes.
Long
Can we-
rest would be best for me.
Okay.
Oh, you want a long rest?
Long.
Okay, cool.
I have no
Should
spells.
we-
I have 2 spells left right now.
Should we
Yeah,
do
let's
it
a
up
long for you.
the next cliff, or do it right here? Never mind, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aleutian, when I was up top and I was looking for a nook when the big thing was coming, did I
Okay.
notice any alcoves within my dark vision?
What do you have? 60 and then another 60?
Right, yeah, 60 regular, 60 dim, I think.
Yeah, so looking around, it seems like there's going to be a moment where this pathway you're taking leads into another like long cave. So you'll have instead of like this large chasm that you're going through, it'll be like more enclosed. It's up to you
Okay.
if you want to go over to that or if you want to stay out here in the open.
Okay, yeah, if there was nothing obvious in terms of like a nice little comfortable secure nook, then I would vote to stay here.
Okay.
And I'd like to is it even worth it to do? I'm gonna camp out up top if you guys don't mind.
Nope.
No.
I think we need like if something were to come here, they could ambush us really easily. And if I were at least to keep watch up here, then or maybe whoever's keeping watch could rotate up top. That way they can see what's coming.
Hmm.
Except for Verth. I mean,
I'll
Verth,
be
you'll
up
have to
top.
have the light globe.
As long as we put a
what-
ladder.
We can sleep here and use the rope, whoever's on guard, to like go up and make sure we're not getting fucking ambushed. You know what I mean?
No, I got you. I think it'd be a good idea to have 2 people on watch at each. Like,
Yeah.
I
Sure,
don't know.
we have enough.
Maybe
I
I'm
think we
wrong.
have enough people to do that. Cool. Well, I'm
Alright.
just gonna fucking pass out.
Alright, so everybody goes to get a long rest. You stay here and occasionally do watches, paying close attention to the area that you're traveling towards, trying to make sure there's nothing over there. And give me 2 seconds.
Could I have spent my hit dice before going to rest?
Sure.
Or, yeah?
But long rest will give you all of your stuff anyway. But if you mean like in case you're interrupted in the night, yeah, go for it. Go.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
You never know.
I would do that in a heartbeat too.
Okay, sounds good.
3, so 4. 6. 6.
4.
2. 12.
16.
16, 17, 18. Plus 7 is 25. I'm almost full health.
Okay, let's see here.
8. And
What was the watch order?
We didn't specify.
hell was
I don't think Carrick would have felt like wanting to go first because I got really banged up.
Okay.
So Aldrin, would you mind going first since you were kind of? Oh no, you got banged up in the fall too, eh?
Yeah, I have, I believe 6 health. It's on my thing on my.
Are you spending your
Yeah.
hit dice or are you just waiting for your long rest?
I've got 24 health. I forgot
see.
that I used second wind.
Okay.
if I'm able to use my hit dice first, I'll take watch first. That's fine.
Okay.
How long has Tabletop
So
Simulator
we'll
had
say
music?
that the watch order is just the order that names fall in tabletop, and this
Sure.
time it'll be Verth at the front. So let's see. As that goes, we will need perfect, because I'm gonna need a perception roll from you, please, Aldrin. Whenever you're all good to go there.
I am actually connecting right now. By the way, how long has Tabletop Simulator had music in the background?
It always has.
Or is that part of the update?
Probably
Because
just to
I've
sit
never
with it.
had it on.
No, it's
You
always
must have
had it.
muted it.
It resets when it updates. Some programs
When it
do that
updates.
where your settings are lost or partially
Oh,
lost.
okay. Sorry, what am I rolling now?
Perception, please. You're doing the final night watch.
15 plus 4, 17.
17. Ah. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, baby.
As you're sitting here, you know that you're the last watch, and so for you, these next couple of hours of resting, you're basically awake, just kind of taking it easy, letting everybody get their last few hours of shut-eye. When you hear something, it sounds like clicking noise at first, and then you realize it's more like a pitter-patter. It's rhythmical, like something moving around on the ceiling up above you.
Hey, guys, I think it may be time to wake up. There's something above us, from the sounds of it.
As you turn to speak to your comrades, you guys wake up here, and it hasn't interrupted your long rest yet, because you're just kind of, poking around for a brief moment. But Aldrin, I'd like you to roll perception a second time.
Ooh, damn, this is where I roll 1. Hey, 15. No, yes, 15.
The pitter-patter accelerates, and it sounds like it's getting distant. You get the sense that you must have disturbed whatever it was when you called out to your group. It becomes more and more distant until the point where you can no longer hear it. And all of you who are waking up, I would like all of you to roll perception, please.
It's fucking Gollum, guys. We have the ring.
Who took it? Who fucking took it?
15.
21.
Okay.
6. That is a 14 for me.
Alright.
Aldrin just yells out, don't worry about it, guys, it's gone.
As you wake up, Lotho,
Vision.
you
I
would
don't know if that
also hear a
matters.
little bit of this.
Nope,
And,
probably not.
As you're kind of opening your eyes here, as Aldrin calls out that there's something out there, you would hear a distant pitter-patter that starts to grow further and further away until being gone. Aldrin then mentions it was nothing. You want
Never
to
mind, go back to sleep.
Go back to bed?
Unfamiliar at all?
Yeah, I'll let you roll another perception roll to hopefully get some more info on it.
Can I do the same?
Sure. Yeah, you can do that.
Aldrin's not really smart, but actually he's...
Actually, sorry, make that a survival check, Lotho. And same for you, Aldrin.
Oh, okay, mine's 7. Oh, wait,
7? Okay. So you don't get anything there. How about you, Lotho?
7.
12.
You're not sure what it is, but the pitter-patter is swift. If it is a creature, it certainly has more than one set of legs. Indeed.
I guess we keep an eye out for or an ear out. Seems to be gone now. Is that way.
Do you want to go back to bed?
Yeah, I guess with that, I gotta get that full rest.
Okay. Everybody goes back to bed, and you wake the next day with a long rest. Go ahead and refresh your health, get your spells back, all of that stuff. You wake feeling well and rested.
Where can I
3
get?
hit dice. Do we get 2 back or just 1?
For
I
hit
think we get
dice,
all of them.
You get
I don't
half
know,
of
we
your
don't-
hit dice back anytime that you long rest.
I have, not half what was used.
Right.
And
Can
by
I get
half,
more
mean half of
D20s?
half of the ones you're
Total?
missing. Yeah, it's half of what you're missing, rounded up. You need another
Gotcha.
witch?
D20, please.
Absolutely.
Later on, because my antivirus is blocking the initiative track for some reason, so... Other than that, everything's fine, but...
Interesting.
What is it?
Nice. I'm getting thematic up in this bitch.
The pot pie was a good suggestion, by the way.
Oh my god.
Oh, those are amazing.
Oh my god, man. In Montreal, like in Quebec, we're all about the pies. All about them. Meat pie, chicken pot pie, chicken a la king, vol au vent, fucking everything.
King is a pie?
No, it's a la king.
A la
A la
king,
King
yeah.
style.
Yeah.
I've never had it in
Oh,
pie
wow.
form.
Okay. Sword. Cool. Alright, so I'll go make sure that we have no ropes or any pittons on this face.
Okay.
And then I'll be scaling up last to make sure that I gather everything, since I'm pretty comfortable free climbing it like a mouse.
You guys are able to pick up all of your climbing gear and don't lose any of your rope or your pittons, as you are very methodical getting everything packed away in your bag. As you make your way up to the top, you eventually head off further into the complex and notice that the large area here, as expected from the map, goes to like an incredibly large cavern entrance. As you continue going, I remember you guys had chosen the path that involved quite a bit of climbing, instead of the path that was some sort of strange tunnel made by a creature that showed up on your map. Yes?
Yes, and by the way, when the Umber Hulks attacked, I thought it was the big guy, and I'm like, okay, well, TPK. I thought, like, we're dead now. Fuck.
Yep, you're in for a fun one, that's for sure. As you travel further, you notice something. This way eventually forks as well, and after you've traveled for a good deal of time, you find yourself once more having to consult the map, because you've traveled past the point where you'll have to do your climbing, and eventually hit another area where there's a fork in the road. Now, who has the map on them?
I do.
Okay. I'd like you to make a survival check looking at the map. This will determine how many options you have.
No!
Is that a 3?
That was 3 plus plus 2. That's 5.
Okay. Let's roll luck for your party. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Hey guys, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. In the Underdark 15 is more like a 10, but you know. So as you stare down,
Fuck you, Dia!
you stare down at the map.
Call.
You feel like there's only 2 real options. The thing has updated since your travel, and now leaves you with another bit of a predicament. you are about here, as far as things go, and have made pretty decent time, with quite a few days ahead of you, and it looks like the next couple of days you'll have to choose between either A, a path which descends further down into the Underdark, and also goes by what appears to be some sort of body of water, or B, another one that stays at the same level, but is like it's a long path along a chasm, which seems to drop down forever. So you kind of have like this little stepstone path that goes down and eventually travels by like a large pool of water. And then you have another path which comes off here from the split, but it traces around like an incredibly large hole in the ground, and you're basically just on like a tiny little path that goes around like this. So it's up to you guys to choose where to go, because right now you're at this fork, and it doesn't really look like there's anything else. Staring at the map, there are like little like side tunnels and caves and things like that in different areas, but they're not proper passageways, and you don't think any of them connect from the detail you're reading on the map. It looks like this is your only two options.
Guys, I've seen way too much tentacle porn to fucking want to go around here.
The fact that you admit that.
See the
I
hint,
do-
I don't know where this is going.
And I prefer to fucking make like a rope path through pittons and go through the narrow. And worst case, we fall, the rope might catch us rather than
Might
fucking
catch
getting
us.
gobbled up by some fucking orgy having aboleth. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be having none of that. That's my vote. That's
Any
my vote.
impression about how long we'd be traveling along this lake? Like, is it pretty big, or is it just
Oh.
so?
As far as you can tell from the map, it looks like it's fairly large. And if you had to guess, this would be equivalent to like an underground lake. It's pretty big. It's not just like a small pool. Like, this is like a proper body of water underneath.
Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, 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 nope.
I'm gonna say our option, like if we chose to go that way, like we could do what you're saying, Carrick, here, but I could also throw down Pass Without a Trace. Again, that's another spell that I can't use until I sleep again, but
Hold on. Aldrin, you're a dwarf. You know about
Stop.
caves and all this mess. What would you suggest?
Well, I would normally like carve my own path.
Nice.
you don't have 6 months.
Oh, we got shovels, man.
We did bring some shovels.
Start
Yeah.
slapping the flat side of a shovel against the rock wall.
Do we have a
I've been
pickaxe?
working on the
Like, would you know which path would be safer from a, I don't know.
A dwarfy standpoint.
Well, dwarves are not a fan of water, such as baths.
I'm sure you're not a fan of infinite holes in the ground either.
I mean, I did fall into an
I
infinite
see you.
hole.
I see you trying to manipulate the vote, sir, and I don't approve of it. I don't condone it. It's wrong.
Uh-oh, they're starting to get to know each other too much.
You motherfucker. I know what you're about, son.
Where does Carrick not want to go? Well, I
He
mean...
doesn't want to go to the
Think about the riches that could be
Oh,
in the
that's
lake.
funny.
Fuck
Is that a waterfall I see on the map? There's always treasure behind those
Fuck
things.
that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. Fuck, it's so hot.
If you wish to look at the map, Aldrin, you're more than welcome to. If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. I am familiar with your fear of baths.
Yeah, such as Lotho tried to cast a cloud of rain on me, and I run around a corner.
That's
That
true,
day I
that
lost
did
my
happen.
sock.
Okay, So here we are, and having stared at the map, you've got these two decisions, but it looks like you're no closer to deciding. Jader speaks up and says, "No, they're both fine with me."
Fucking Jade.
Super helpful.
I'm not the only one that complains about him.
He says, "Look, I can give the map a look, but I guess if I had to choose which one, I'd rather die fighting some sea beast than just falling endlessly."
I'm not particularly dexterous, so I don't know how much. So it wouldn't matter. How small does that? It's a map. I can't tell that.
How what?
I guess I could probably. I was gonna ask how small that path looked, but that's just ridiculous. We're looking at a map.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get tentacle
You can, if you want. So, like I had mentioned, there are a couple of small caves that seem to go from here and there that you can go and investigate if you want. That's perfectly up to you. Maybe they lead to something else. The detail on the map doesn't really pick up the smaller structures quite as well as the main pathways. So maybe they do go somewhere, but who knows?
I'm
I don't-
thinking if I use this little light bulb to shine our way to lead us forward in a giant room with a giant cliff, endless pit, a light is pretty apparent. Anything can see it. If you're next to some water, I feel like the light will be snuffed out if it's pretty deep.
Yeah, but Verth, water also carries sound, and you fucking heard Aldrin walk. Alright? I mean, look, I know the idea that if we fall in the water, we can swim, we can get back on the land, fine. But I also
Wait,
feel
is that
like...
a fat joke?
What? Well, the sound you make, you take it however you want, bud. You know how much sound you make when you walk.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But I guess the cavern would just make just as much, and it's true, if you fell in the water, at least you could theoretically get back up. I mean, now that you're mentioning it, I'm not opposed to the lake, it's just... We have no maneuvering room with the lake itself. We're on that path,
So,
and we're screwed otherwise.
over here on this side, it looks like the path is fairly narrow, whereas the lakeside path has there's a shore to it that you'd be walking along. It kind of widens out, and then you can't really see what's past there. At this point, though, I have to ask you guys, are you still walking and talking, or have you all stopped to stare at the map?
I would have stopped.
We would have
Okay.
stopped.
Alright,
Yeah, Aldrin can't walk and read at the same time.
that's fair.
Stu.
All have our limitations.
I do have one thing to say. If the beast we saw earlier is attracted to the large pools of water, it's probably going to be a lot of nopes closer to the water.
Wow. You did
So I
see
might
the big
lean
tunnel
more
thing go there.
I might lean more towards the endless pit.
Big tunnel thing headed towards the water.
Wow, both of you guys have changed your mind.
Well, the big fuck off serpent goes to bodies of water. That's from a survival check from Verth and Aldrin. We were able
It
to
is.
surmise that.
Yeah.
So again, the reason, because for me, guys, the cavern, yes, it's a fucking pit of despair. But if sorry,
chasm.
okay,
Going
but
to your big tunnel dick.
you're cutting out. You're cutting out, and all we heard was
Big
chasm,
tunnel dick.
big tunnel dick.
Said I'm
that's
not
all I
going anywhere near the big tunnel dick.
Okay.
Okay, but here's the thing. First of all, we can't fight or outrun big fat tunnel dick. Second of all, the chasm to the right, we can climb up or down. Right, if we're really stuck. The lake, like, fuck, guys. If we can't touch the water, we have that. And if this snake thing comes around, we get fucking pooped in the A. You know what I mean? I don't know. My vote.
Make a persuasion roll, Carrick.
Oh. Alright. Alright. Let me get the OG D20, aptly named. Ooh, the persuasion isn't bad. It's a 15.
Okay. Jader pipes up and he says, "Yeah, I'm with Carrick on this one. We can climb if need be."
I'm with Carrick as well.
Why not?
I mean, guys, last time I made a decision, it was running across the fields, and that went super well. Like, we didn't fight a single thing on our way to the road.
Yeah, it was great.
No one got tired at all.
Anyways, yeah, I think just based on the patterns that you guys were able to find on the map alone, we cannot outrun this thing, and we heard it. It looked like it was at least a day's travel away, and that thing shook the ground beneath our feet. We can't outrun something like that.
Right now.
Whoa! Shit!
Jader speaks up again. He says, "If we do take the chasm, we'll have to be careful. Anything that gets knocked off the side will be sounded out for miles."
Oh yeah. I think we should. First of all,
Should we,
sorry.
when we get closer, should we tie ourselves off to like pair off? That way, a strong person can be with maybe like, let's say me and Lotho, or me and Aldrin, or me and Carrick. It doesn't matter. Just
Right. Well, I think it should be probably you and Aldrin, because you're the only two that can possibly support each other's weights.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm going too.
Right, and Lotho at least can turn into a little squirrel or something. We're odd, so one of us is gonna have to go no rope. It could be me, I suppose. What I can do is take a lead. I can take point, and I kind of gesture to the map and come across the cavern, maybe 5 or 10 feet ahead of you guys, and I'll set Pittons in with a rope guide. And then what we could do is loop the ropes around your waist to the guide. So if you were to fall, the guide would support you, and the Pittons would keep the rope in place. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So, table talk, what I'm picturing is Pittons that are hanging out of the wall,
Mhm.
and there's a one major rope that's suspended on top of the Pittons, and then we individually get ropes that we knot and loop around, kind of like a loose loop around the primary line. That way, if we fall, the line gets caught on the Pitton and holds your weight. If that makes sense.
Fair enough.
Here's the thing, I don't know how much we have 200 feet of rope. So we're gonna have to have someone, we're gonna have to stop once in a while and have the person at the back take the line and the Pittons and then feed them forward so I can keep going. But I think it's a decent plan.
Mhm.
Okay, so is that the plan then?
I don't know, that's just my vote.
Right. The group
The best
resolves
plan we've come up
to
with.
take a right up ahead and eventually travel along the chasm, using what rope they have to hopefully offset any risks. As you travel further ahead, something happens.
Oh, everybody dies.
Great luck, great luck, great luck.
You're walking along when Aldrin, you take a step and hear something and feel something underneath your boot. It's the sound of metal.
Aldrin is super happy now because metal is his favorite thing. Guys, I found some metal under my foot. I really want it.
Are we in the cavern yet?
No, you are like right here.
Okay. We're still in the same spot. Okay.
Yeah, you've moved a little bit further ahead, but you're not quite at the fork yet.
I could really use this metal.
What is it? Do you even know if it's ore or if it's like an item?
It's metal. It is hard, metally, and I'm assuming probably shiny after I clean it.
I'll walk up closer and illuminate it.
Do you move your foot?
Pretty sure, yeah. I'm
Okay.
pretty
It's a
sure I have a
fucking
pickaxe.
mine. Boom.
As you pull away your foot, you see there on the ground what looks like a single gold coin.
Ooh, Aldrin's rich. I will pick that up
Okay.
and I will put it in my cone bag.
Alright. Add 1 gold.
Woohoo! I just found a quarter on the side of the road.
Keep your eyes open. Means someone's been here before.
Table talk. I've encountered on the monsters manual some fucked up shit that could be recorded. So have fun with that, buddy. Woo!
Okay. As you travel further and further, you eventually come up to this next area. You travel for maybe, let's say half an hour to an hour before you get up to a spot where there's a small cave entrance to your left. It's one of these side passages and could potentially lead somewhere or have something in it. Do you guys want to take the time to investigate it, or do you want to just keep going, trying to press by as fast as you can? If the map is a proper indicator of just how large this cave is, it could be explored from front to back in maybe an hour's time. If it leads somewhere else, though, it could be potentially a good, a bad thing. Who knows? What do you guys want to do?
An hour to find
It-
nothing, or
It would be nice to have like a fallback plan, like if we need to run back this way, to know that at our backs it's relatively safe.
Just looking in, can I make out some general details about the cavern?
Or
Yeah, make for me either investigation or perception.
It's gonna be perception because fucking Carrick's stupid as a brick.
or how about any like strange smells?
ooh,
I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know.
It's on the very edge of your dark vision, the sort of dim periphery that past which your eyes cannot extend, and there's some sort of object laying there. As you stare at its structure and take a brief step forward to get a bit of a better look, you narrow your eyes and you see a vaguely humanoid shape. And it starts to take form as you focus on it, until you realize that what you're looking at is some dead man laying on the ground. That's what it seems like. You can't quite get the detail of what it's wearing, just sort of its position, laying on the ground. You'll have to move in further to find out.
I'm gonna
anybody have a
just
stick?
I'm just going to look it like very seriously into Verth's eyes, and give him the kind of um, indication to turn off the light. And I'm going to, as stealthily as I can and very slowly, looking down at my feet first. And as soon as I go into the entrance, looking above me and kind of going across the walls and then the
Okay.
ceiling, and then slowly approach to see if I can get a better,
Sure.
just close enough so I can make it out a little bit more.
Lights off, Starlight.
You do that, and the light disappears. Jader mumbles to himself, I hate it when it happens. And Carrick takes a few steps off into the cave. As you step forward, you look around, up, left, right, straight forward. You stare at the body as you begin to go further in to get more detail, and you notice a few things. The first of which is that the body lays there, but it seems to be wrapped in something. And you realize after you take a few more steps in that it's covered in what appears to be webbing, not allowing you to see its armor or its features underneath. It has been completely wrapped up. As you look around as well, you can see that there are small bits of spiderweb, both on the ceiling and also on the sidewalls. And as you travel forward, you feel like a bit of resistance against your leg as you break a strand with your latest step and stop. You're maybe
I would
about 20
immediately
feet into
stop.
the cave at this point.
Shit. I'm gonna take out my flame dagger and like a fucking great torch, just like whoosh, put it up over my head.
Okay. The light allows you to see locally what's going on. You can stare down at your foot and see that there is indeed a strand there, which your leg presses against. That runs off to both the left and the right side of the walls here. You can see as well the color of the webbing above you and how it seems to hold in its grasp smaller insects and things like that. You need to get closer to the body, though, if you want to examine it better. And since you're 20 feet in, you probably have another 80 to go before you get up to it.
I'm gonna call Lotho over. Lotho!
Okay. Your voice echoes a bit down the cave, but seemingly is dampened by something. Perhaps the webbing catches some of it. But Lotho, you hear him from over at the entrance just 20 feet away. What do you want to do?
And I see his light.
Yeah, he's holding the dagger
Alright.
out, and it lights up his whole body there and a little bit of the cave around him as well.
I don't know what's going on, obviously.
Do you come in?
Yeah, I walk up to you.
Lotho, what can you make of this? Is it like the Edicaps that we saw in the forest?
So
Make a
over
nature
here,
check.
you guys can get an idea of what's going on. And there is the dead body at about, say about here. Lotho, I'd like you to make a survival check for me. Searching for the
None.
skills. I believe
It's 15. It's 15. Yeah. I had to adjust my mic settings,
That's
apparently.
all good. As you look around, you are able to pick out something that's different here. The Ettercaps were very disorganized, but the webbing here is placed purposefully, much more like that of a spider than some sort of being that just leaves web around like the Ettercaps did. The other thing that you note is that it's a great deal thicker as well.
I don't think this isn't the. I mean, no, this is nothing like the Ettercaps. Or spider-like.
Do we even want to be fucking with this thing?
I think maybe as long as we know that it's behind us, I don't think we need to continue any further. A value.
Alright. And I turn around, just making sure I don't trip any more wires with my dagger in front of me. And I'll head back to the party.
Okay.
Beside him, so I can see.
The couple strands that were attached to your leg break off as you begin to pull back, and eventually the two of you emerge from the cave back to the rest of the group. Are you going to continue moving on?
No, I'm gonna tell the party, guys, alright, big spooky fucking thick spider webs, up the tunnel, just that way, and, it seems to be a full-sized man or something, that seems to be encased in web a little further down, so whatever this thing is, I'm assuming it's a big fuck-off spider, according to Lotho. It's taking people. And there's a bunch of little things all above the roof as well. Do we want this thing behind us, or do we want to get rid of it? Do we want to move forward? What's the idea?
We were resting, or just before we woke up, Aldrin woke me up and we heard some skittering on the ceiling. I can hear that that's probably what we heard.
I mean, I would assume it's the same thing, but if it skidded away, I wonder how comfortable it is outside of its little nest, you know? I mean, I only know little spiders that you see in town, but Those fuckers aren't exactly the most confident bunch, you know? So maybe if we don't fuck with its turf, it won't come out. Or maybe it's hungry as fuck and it's gonna wait until we're right on that narrow passage just to attack us. I don't know. That vertical mobility that I was telling you about, those minor advantages that we might have, I feel like this thing has it in spades. That's the only thing that would worry me if we were to just move forward.
As the three of you discuss, you note that things are rather quiet here. That as you've traveled along and entered this cave, you haven't heard the same kind of background noises that you've heard from before. While making your climb, there was, of course, the sound of pittons and people straining on rope, heaving as you made your way over one pass to another. But there were other sounds that you could hear that must have come from below in the chasm, or perhaps even above. Sounds like some sort of strange creatures or wind that would blow through on occasion. Every now and then you'd hear a water drop, something like that. But here, there is no sound. It is rather still, nor is there wind which passes through the area.
That's spooky.
Yeah, it's a bit unnerving.
Guys, haven't heard from our big mighty warriors. Are you guys spooked?
Jader shrugs.
I'd be comfortable knowing that something won't be at our backs.
Look, at the same time, we might be able to find some shit that could be interesting down here. If there's anything that made it this far down, I'm assuming it might have some things that might be useful. However, you guys know me, I'm not exactly the greedy type. If we can move without a conflict, I'd be fine with it. It's just, if that thing was scoping us out before, definitely going to be scoping us out now.
If we have to double back, go to the other path, I'd be much more comfortable knowing that this was cleared out.
Right. Okay. Huh. What do you think, Lotho? You seemed kind of eager to move on.
It was one of those more afraid of us than we are of it sort of deals, but well, no, never mind.
I mean, we have fire, we have light. I can't imagine this thing liking those things very much. It's just that on its turf, it can attack us from fucking anywhere. We don't even know if it's
Exactly.
just one or many. We could try lighting the whole fucking place on fire and seeing what happens. But I don't even know if these webs can catch. We can try it.
With no wind, might burn up all the air.
Is that a bad thing?
I mean, if we can't breathe.
Well, I mean, there's got to be some circulation around here. I doubt it would just be able to burn everything. But, I mean, I guess you're right. Anyways, we got two decisions. Well, we got three. We either head back, move forward, or take care of the enemy here and then move forward.
I'd rather take care of it.
Aldrin?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Verth.
Alright, as long as we do it carefully, I'm on board. You might as well put that light on, mate. I don't think we're going to be able to surprise something like that.
Starlight.
Okay. The light
by the way-
hums and hovers.
By the way, Verth, can you grab onto that thing and float?
To amuse him, I'll grab it.
As you hold it, you can feel that it exerts some force trying to hover in the space where it was before, but it's minute. Maybe you might be able to put like a small cloth over this or something, but it's definitely not going to support your weight.
Yeah, no.
Alright. Well, no time like the present, I guess. And taking out my flame dagger, I'm gonna...
Wait.
Oh.
What? Are there any rocks or anything on the ground?
Ah. Yes, there most certainly are in this cave, in abundance.
stronger guys there. Chuck a couple rocks in there and see if anything happens before we just go diving in. So like Aldrin, Jader, and Verth.
Well, we're gonna be making a shit ton of noise on the way in, so you do what you need to, man.
Feel like running headfirst into a bunch of webs more than anything. Like if we can draw it out, that might be running in. Like you said, you're not too keen on going into its turf.
Right. Well, if you feel like it might work, then yeah, give it a go.
Tempting, I think.
Like I said, there's almost no consequence to it. So.
Are you throwing a rock in there?
I mean, I can.
Sure. Are you gonna throw
I was
an
thinking
at
the
web that you can see, like on the walls or the ceiling, or just throw it like far down the cave and see what happens? Right? Do you have like a location you're throwing it at specifically, or?
Can directly down. Like if I can throw it directly down, but
Sure.
add a web, then I'd try that. But
Make an attack roll.
am I adding just strength?
Dexterity. Just dex.
Dex. All right. 17.
Okay. You take a step forward, grabbing a rock, and hurl it down here as far as you can. It lands, hitting a bit of web on the wall, bouncing right here. And as it does so, there's the sound of it hitting both the web, then the rock afterwards, before it tumbles to the ground. And there's a stillness. If there is a creature in here, you don't seem to have disturbed it.
The way I thought it might, but I guess proceed with caution.
Okay.
I have a feeling, Lothar, that these things aren't fools if they are there. It's gonna wait for us to be further in, where it has an advantage before it comes thrusting out. And I'm gonna
How
move
about-
forward.
How about we take out some torches and just burn web?
I was
we go
gonna do that with my flame dagger. Yeah, might as well.
All right.
Just don't use the oil. We're gonna need that, obviously.
Yeah. I'll hand out a
Mhm.
torch to each person.
Okay. Everybody gets a torch. And
I don't need one though.
Yeah, just 4.
as you're distributing them here, you hear something. Down inside of this cave, there is a sound, and I'd like all of you to roll perception to try and gather what it is.
9.
Oh my god! I almost got another nat 20. Fuck.
Oh, I almost did the same.
11 for me.
8.
Wow, not great rolls. No one passed a 10?
I got a 17.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You got a 17.
It sounds like something may have fallen from within the cave, but Lotho, you're able to pick up a little bit more. As you hear it, it sounds kind of like rummaging almost, and you hear the sound of the familiar but ever so faint pitter-patter that you were woken up with the other night. It sounds like it comes from far down in the cave.
Guys, there's something down there. Disturbed it. I say in hushed tones.
Okay, so you're whispering now?
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
We knew there was something in there, obviously. So let's just proceed with caution. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Send maybe. Well, we're going down with light anyway, so why don't we go? Why don't you and our Dragonborns here with their breath weapons, and Aldrin and I'll take up the rear.
Sure.
It's not a bad
We'll
plan.
burn up web as we walk along.
Okay. The group travels in, and you can place yourself in whatever formation you want as you begin to make your way into the cave.
I would go like reverse V formation on the front. So like me on back, and yeah, you and Jader on.
That we're hugging pretty close.
Okay.
Not trying to get picked off here.
Okay, so you guys start to travel inwards, and while you do so, you make sure to take a couple of feet towards the wall when you can hold your torches over, and you watch as the web seems to resist for a bit. Not brittle and dry, it's sticky, almost fresh. There's time, And then eventually, after a bit of holding your flame on it, it burns up with ease and starts to crackle a bit as webs break and snap from the heat. You guys travel further, cutting more and more web down with your heat until eventually you get to the point where you're up by this body, which has been completely covered. You can see that though the arms are separate in their web coverings, the legs have been bound together. And as you suspected, you can't see any of its armor or features. It is covered head to toe.
Care to investigate?
Sure. And I'm gonna kind of ominously look above me for a little bit before, and then be like, okay. And I'll using my flame dagger try to cut the back of this thing around it to kind of free it from the web.
So, the very edge of this humanoid laying on the ground, its feet, which point towards the wall, have been attached to the bits of web that are there, and after burning them away, you're able to dislodge this person. And are you going to cut through with a dagger, or burn off the web, or what?
Yeah, I'm using my flame dagger to cut the if he's facing me, I want to steer around him on the back to free him from the wall, so I can pull him off.
Sure.
And then investigate him.
So, laying on the ground here, this body, you make your incisions with the dagger so as to not damage the features on the front, trying to cut around the side so you can maybe peel off this front portion of web. And you find that your flaming dagger makes short work. Both its sharp edge and the fire that it gives off make it rather excellent for dealing with these strange webs. And sooner or later, you have this thing cut to the point where you can pull back the web and see exactly what's going on. Before you do that, though, I'd like a perception check from you, Verth.
13.
You notice something. Your theory about the air getting thin is indeed happening as you go further, but it seems to level out, and you actually have a hunch that this cave doesn't end abruptly, and that as you go further, you'll find that it leads to something else, because there does seem to be some air which continues to circulate here, and your flames don't go out or anything. Whether or not
It opens up a ways ahead.
No. As you reach down, Carrick, and pull back the layer of web, you find... the body is fresh. As you peel back the first bit here, grabbing onto sort of the head portion and peeling down, you're greeted with what looks like the face of a drow in front of you. It's a dark elf with their paler skin and white hair. His features, though, have been altered to a point, and the body has been desiccated, as though it has been drained of all of its fluids. As you can continue to pull down, though, you note how intact he is. Age has not ravaged this body, and I'd like you to go ahead and make for me a medicine check.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff.
Dr. Carrick is in the house.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure that's an 8. Oh, it's wisdom. It's a 10. Or no, it's an 11. My bad.
Okay. Looking at the body, if you had to guess, unless altered by some magic or maybe the means by which the creature killed it, this person has died within the last 10 days.
Oh, damn.
As you continue to pull back, you can see that the features on this person's face are contorted into that of a expression of immense pain. And as you keep peeling back, you see the familiar armor, the leather armor of the drow. Some of you even have sets just like this. As you keep going, you find that some of his gear is still here as well. And down on his belt, he has what looks to be 2 pouches, which are still there, and plump with some sort of contents. Down by his stomach, you see what may have been the wound that did him in. There is a puncture mark right at the center breastplate here, and a sort of blackish ooze that goes around it.
Can I see roughly? Can I surmise the angle of the penetration, like if it was straight forward or if it came from above or below?
Ah. With your medicine check, no, you can't, but you can tell that whatever it was that stabbed this man and left this small puncture mark did so moving directly forward towards the stomach.
Okay. I'll check for two things. I'll check the pouches and I'll also check to see if he has a map on him.
Okay. Checking into the pouches, you find that there's two things. One of which is a pouch of gold, and it has 18 gold sitting in it. The other one looks to be a bag filled with small gems. And I'd like you to go ahead and make either an investigation or like an insight roll. It's up to you to determine their value.
No. 18?
Okay. You think
Using insight?
Yeah, you think that these gems, just kind of giving them a brief glance, an experienced jeweler would likely know more, but you think that these gems are worth roughly about 30 gold. So you can add both of those to your inventory or split them as you wish. As you begin to pat around and look around for a map, you don't find one, but what you do find is a sealed note. It has a wax stamp on it, and the wax stamp has been broken.
Oh, I'm definitely going to check that out.
As you pull out this small note, you can see that it is almost something that you would miss at first. Were you not patting around the body and examining it closely, this little piece of paper tucked away behind the breastplate would have gone unnoticed. As you give it a look, you find a bunch of Elven scrawled onto it. But you're able to read that. Looking around, it seems it was a set of directions of some sort. And it reads like this. I'm sorry to have to give you this mission, but it is what it is, and as things are right now, I can't give you more help. But I trust that the bodyguard that I've handed you will be enough. And I also believe that the sources that we have are perfectly reasonable and actually rather trustworthy. This might be the best lead that we have yet to find the caller. If you find anything, of course, make note back to me as hastily as you can. Send a raven if you must. One of the men traveling with you should have access to such a thing. I wish you the best of luck, and as always, be safe out there. You see what looks like a set of initials down at the bottom. You see a V and a T.
So there aren't any specific directions themselves in there. It's just more like instructions more than anything, right?
Yeah, you get the sense like this must have been accompanied by something.
Right. I'll try to search the body further to see if I can find what it's talking about, although I suspect it's with another body that might be in here.
Ah. You look around and continue to rummage about, and unfortunately, don't seem to find anything else. However, it's the lack of something that might be alarming, because as you rummage about, you find a sword scabbard. Something meant for a short sword, or maybe an incredibly long dagger, but it's empty. And looking around in the cave, you find no trace of this weapon.
Does it look sexy?
The scabbard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. The drow make good items.
Is it better than what I have for my magic sword?
No.
Cool. All right. Well then I'll just take note of it, but I want to stay as quiet as I can in here, so I'm not going to relay the information yet. I'll just try to keep an eye out for more humanoid figures along the wall, the roof, and the floor.
Do you guys
as we
say
move forward.
anything? Because you would notice that Carrick takes a good deal of time here with this body. Like, he carefully cuts around the web, peels it back, rummages over it, notes the wound, grabs a couple of pouches from it, reads a piece of paper. Like, do you guys mention anything, or just kind of stay as quiet as you can?
I'd be focusing more ahead than on the body.
Eye on the prize. Okay.
Sure. Trying to pay attention and see if I hear anything more from what I heard earlier, like the dropping noise.
And Aldrin is very curious as to what this guy might have on him, but he doesn't want to loot him because, it feels like he's desecrating something. So,
Fair enough. As you travel further ahead, leaving this now investigated body behind, the webs burn up with greater ease. It's like they're older, drier webs, and eventually you open up into a larger room here. Let's see.
Do the dryer webs burn faster?
They do, and some of them continue to combust without you having to bring your torch over. And by the time that you get into this room, it seems that the whole thing almost flash fires as it goes off. There's a brief moment where it feels as though you're going to be deprived of oxygen, and you all have to kind of take double breaths for a moment to breathe in, and then air comes back to you, and it's kind of like fresh air almost, even amidst all the burning and smoke, which seems to filter outwards, leaving through the cave here.
Is there like an opening above us? The air seems to be coming down in, or?
As you look around, no, it doesn't seem that there is, but you note that over on this side, there's a hole in the room, and a vertical drop that goes down for some amount of distance. But that's not the most alarming thing. You find what looks to be a group of neatly placed bodies, all in a row along this wall. You see 4 of them, and each one of them has been placed so it's basically standing up, but suspended and stuck against the wall, and as the flames begin to run across and get rid of the last bit of web, one by one these bodies fall and tumble down to the ground. Some of them burn
I think we
away
found the
rather
rest
quickly,
of it.
and some of them don't, as though perhaps they were webbed at different times. The ones that burn away rather quickly, though, reveal skeletons. The other thing that you notice is that this room has furniture in it. Over in the corner, there appears to be a table.
I'll motion to Carrick to investigate the bodies further, and I'm gonna walk up to the middle and just face the drop off.
Okay.
Keep an eye out, and I'll kind of motion to Jader to tag along with me.
Alright. He stays by your side and keeps his eyes on the hole over there as well. I'd like you to go ahead and roll a perception check, please, Verth.
13.
13. Okay. Stepping into the room and looking around, you don't hear anything. It's rather quiet. And then something comes in. It's the sound of a little bit of wind rushing from the hole over here. Perhaps from the last bit of flames which are going up in the room.
I'll quietly just stand there and watch the hole.
Okay. What are you guys doing back here?
I'm with the light, because otherwise I can't really see.
Okay.
Aldrin's looking at the bodies from his kind of like closer to Carrick, looking at the bodies.
Alright. Carrick, what are you up to?
I know what Verth asked for me to do, but I want to look over and I want to see which one is freshest.
Ah. You examine these bodies, and
From afar, I don't want to come. I kind of doing it from a distance. Sorry.
Oh, okay. As you look around, you notice that 3 of these are fairly old. The web burns away, revealing their contents, so you don't even need to really touch or mess around with them to see what looks to be full-size humanoid skeletons left within. Some of them have clothes, which also burn up in the heat. Over here, though, this one is resistant, and the outer layer of web is still sticky and wet, like the one that you had seen earlier. It doesn't burn up. It lays intact there at the ground, a few feet away from Aldrin.
Nice. I'm gonna focus my attention on that one, and very slowly. Again, I have this creeping like feeling crawling up my shoulders that something is above me. So I'm really gonna be looking above, making sure nothing is spooky going on up there, and then I'm gonna start looting. But even then, I'm gonna be kind of not trusting my party to be spotting things, and I'm gonna really be interrupting myself to look around.
Your desire to stare up towards the ceiling yields something, and you notice there's a shape up there, not like the rocky exterior of this cave wall, but
Shit.
something kind of lumpy and smooth almost. It's been blackened by all of the soot from the burning that you've put this room through, and it's difficult to tell exactly what it is, but it sits there right about here, in between you and the second group, stuck to the roof. There doesn't seem to be much in terms of web connecting to it, and so it has been spared from all of the fire.
I'm gonna just like just look at this body, kind of nod, and act going over here with my. Actually, I'm gonna keep facing the thing above without looking at it,
Okay?
and I'm gonna back up until I literally bump into Jader and Lotho, and I'm gonna just
you
whisper. I'm just gonna whisper. My 12 o'clock. Hi. And I'm gonna whisper slow, fucking slow,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm gonna start walking casually forward again.
A stealth check, please.
Okay. Where's my OG dice? There it is.
Where's my OG die?
Oh, thank you, Lord.
Wow.
Plus 6. That's going to be 23.
Carrick's words travel the line of silence and meaning so well that you're just barely able to hear what he's saying, but feel like nobody else could have possibly picked it up except for you two who were intended to hear it. What do you want to do, Lotho? Jader looks over at you, and he kind of reaches backward a little bit towards his backpack, which is basically just a sack of spears.
Having the same idea, I still want to, like, in the back of my mind, have, like, an ice knife ready to go, almost. Can I look up and see anything? See if I can make out any more detail to it?
Sure. As you look up, you see what looks like some sort of lumpy surface lit up by your different torches. It's blackened by the soot of all the burning in the room, and has a very sort of strange and uniform texture compared to the rest of the room, which is all different rocky, jagged edges and cave ground.
Is Carrick near Aldrin again?
Yeah, I'm trying to act like everything is cool, and I'm slowly walking forward. Like I'm assuming this thing is smart enough where I don't want to make it seem like anything is off, you know?
Alright.
I'll wait till your conversation there is done.
It seems like Jader waits on you, Lotho, to see what you're gonna do.
I don't do anything for the moment other than staring at it, but fuck.
Would I have heard?
Apprehensive of it.
Would I have heard Carrick's comment, or no?
No, he whispered it only to the other two, because you were on the other side. You can tell, though, that Verth is no longer looking at the hole over there, but it might just be something else.
Well,
Carrick,
guys
you
are
wander
having
back
a
over
bad-
towards the other body. What do you want to do?
Feeling a chill run down my spine, but knowing that this thing has waited this long, it's gonna wait for a better opportunity. I'm gonna be hoping on that. I'm gonna be looting this thing,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna say, not stealthily. I'm just gonna say, Aldrin, can you give me a hand down here?
I was about to ask you, by tabletop right now, talk right now. I was actually gonna ask you if Aldrin could search the bodies, and if it were rude if he did. Now he doesn't feel so bad, so now he's gonna go through and loot the bodies.
Okay. So the two of you go to loot this one which has survived the flames. Its new stickier webs not burning up quite as swiftly. And Carrick, are you just taking the dagger and cutting through it again?
I am pretending to loot, but really I want to try.
Paying the
I'm
most
just gonna
attention to the other thing.
yeah, and I'm just gonna nudge Aldrin and try to get his eye contact.
Okay, sure. You nudge Aldrin, and
Aldrin,
Aldrin, you can
okay.
tell while the two of you lean over at this body that Carrick is thinking about something else.
So you
What's
look
up,
at,
buddy?
I look you right in the eyes. I don't say anything, and then I just, without shifting my head, I just shift my eyeballs up, and then I do a nod,
Aldrin
like,
will do it.
and I cock my eyebrows, like, "Do you understand?"
Yep.
Okay, and then I'm gonna very methodically start rummaging around the body this time, once more.
Okay. You start to cut into this body. As you do so, you find what looks to be another drow. You make your cuts, pull back the face bit here, and find another elven face and that dark skin, white hair. This one, however, is wearing what appears to be a set of wizard robes, or something like that. Maybe it's a cleric. It's difficult to tell. And she's female. It looks like she must have died at about the same time, and the majority of features and everything are fairly well preserved, like what did her in must have happened only days ago. As you look around to find maybe a backpack or a note or anything like that padding around, you find nothing. The expression on her face is pained and horrid, just like the last one. If you search around long enough, you find that, yes, this one indeed has a similar wound, stabbed into the side through a different angle towards the back ribs. You see another single puncture mark with a bit of black ooze.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna, again, just kind of look at the robes, look at the pouches, look at the note, and try to gather everything. And if I can, with the note, just try to look for the evidence that was mentioned in the initial note that I found on the first body.
Okay.
Or not the evidence, but the instructions, rather.
Okay.
Or the map, or whatever the directions.
And while this is going on, can I take a look at the table?
Sure. Over at the table, you can see that it has been curiously emptied of things, and shows evidence that it may have been looted or ransacked. On the ground, you see what looks like maybe a small clay cup that is positioned so that it may have fallen from the table and cracked. And you also see what look like a bunch of sort of loose paper and things like that as well around it. Though there's nothing else really on the table. If you want, you can investigate further, but you'll have to get over to the table.
Yep.
Okay. You start to walk away. Botho, do you say anything? Stay where you are?
I stay next to Jader. Does he still have his hand on a spear?
Yes.
Does the thing move at all?
No.
Like, I'll glance up.
If you look up, it seems like it's in the same position. If indeed some strange creature lurks there, it's adept at remaining completely still. Jader sees that you casted another glance, and he looks towards you and gives you a reassuring look. As you step over towards the table, make an investigation check, please, Verth. That was the most solid 8 I've ever seen. It was like 8. You're not getting anything else, it's an 8.
All right.
What is that with or with investigation?
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. That's 7.
Oh, nice. Okay. You look around, trying to see if there's anything here. You find there's a stain on the table. It's blackish. Maybe similar to what killed those other people. Or maybe it's just somebody spilled an inkwell. As you look at the papers, you find that they're empty. There's nothing on them. And as you stare at the cup, it seems like it's fairly simply made. Now broken, unfortunately, and useless. It doesn't really seem to hold anything.
I guess I'll turn around and I'll speak up. I'll say, guys, I don't believe anything's here.
At this point, I just kind of stop and then keep rummaging. I'm just like I'm just directing all of my mind towards Jader and Lotho trying to fucking warn these guys while I loot. I want to make sure everyone's in the loop, but obviously they whatever. Sorry, yeah. Cool.
You finish looting this body and feel fairly certain that you've checked all of it. There's nothing here. A very, very remarkable amount of nothing. It's just the robes.
Do the robes look interesting at all? Like something that I should probably want to keep?
I'd like you to make an intelligence check. If you have the proficiency, you can do history. Otherwise, it's straight int.
Definitely do not.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, that is a Carrick int roll if I've ever seen one. That's actually a 1.
The robes are not familiar, and as you stare at them and kind of turn your head trying to think if you've seen this before, you come to the conclusion that you haven't.
Okay.
Does there seem to be anything like in this corner? If there isn't, I would inch a little closer to the drop off just to take a quick look.
The light from your hovering orb casts itself over in the corner, and you can see what looks like refuse. It's garbage, like broken tools, scattered pieces of cloth, that kind of thing. You want to rummage through it or let it be?
Yeah, I'll walk
Okay.
gingerly towards it, and I'll take my glaive, and I'll shift like through it a little bit.
Okay. As you shift around in it, you find that its contents are, well, they're rather mundane. It looks like stuff that maybe like a caravan would have with them, or traveling pilgrims. You find like little pieces of rope. Over here, what seems to be a common belt that has been kind of damaged and worn over the years. You find a couple pieces of wood, a couple of scattered nails. Nothing really of use.
All right, I'll take another look back, and would I get a sense that my group is kind of acting a little strangely? They're not doing anything.
Insight.
Okay. That is a that's 15.
Not only can you tell that everybody is tense and that something is going on, but you also feel like their tension seems to almost radiate from the ceiling. Like there's something there they're trying to pretend isn't there.
I'll take a look up.
As you
Do I
look
see
up,
the same thing?
in the torchlight, yes you do.
I'll put my glaive away and take out my axe, and I'll kind of shrug my shoulders if anyone's looking at me and kind of like look up.
As he's looking around, I kind of want to like make a circle. Like this isn't gonna make a lot of sense here probably, but like make a circle with one hand, point to my eyes, and point a finger down into that circle, trying to get a point across that I want him to watch the hole.
Ah.
And then hoping that he understands me, or some sort of acknowledgement.
Okay. Do you
For a
want to
couple
go
seconds,
and
and then-
keep watch on the hole there, Verth?
Yeah, feeling a little uneasy. I'll
Okay.
walk a little closer to it and
Sure.
keep an eye on it.
He does. I'll nod to Jader.
Okay. The moment that you nod, he's lightning fast and throws out a spear towards the roof. As he does, you watch as it sticks into something, and there's a sound that comes from it.
Can I immediately throw up a flaming sphere
Ooh. Yes.
right
yes,
in
you
that
can.
spot? No, wait, sorry. Moonbeam. Did
Uh,
immediately.
You can't. So Moonbeam,
Okay,
if you
that makes
think about
sense.
that,
I
doesn't
get what
really
you're saying.
exactly work like that.
This guy. So then flaming sphere it is.
Okay. You hear the sound as some sort of object is pierced by this spear that flies up towards the ceiling, and then your flaming sphere bursts into existence. Jader takes a step back and pulls another spear ready for whatever might assail you all. But what's strange is that a showering metallic sound is what comes from it. And you hear coin and sea coin that falls from your sphere, blackened by the flame as it lands on the ground around you. Jader looks on in confusion as coins fall from the ceiling from above your sphere.
I'm immediately gonna look
Equally.
behind the party, towards here.
Okay. You can see all the craziness that's taking place.
Well, no, they threw up the sphere here, right?
No, at the ceiling.
Wherever
what-
that thing was.
Wasn't the thing above? Okay, it's.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
right
looking
here.
like. I'm not looking there. I want to look like there because if I'm hearing coins, I thought that was an enemy. I'm thinking we've been had.
Okay. As you look over
Type
towards
thing.
the hole, you see no action here, and it's empty, just like before.
Otho, turn it off.
I don't want to.
God damn.
Just in case.
We're looking. There's some paperwork that I need to find. You might burn it up.
The trickle of coin seems to come to a stop after a while. It whittles down a bit, and then a couple of loose ones ding here and there, and that's it.
All right.
Do you finish up the sphere, or do you leave it there? The coin seems to stop dropping.
Coming from up ahead, like from back where we came.
No, the coin is falling literally from the ceiling. Like, it falls through your
Understand
sphere
that.
down onto the ground.
I just feel like it was some sort of an alarm.
It certainly
was
could have
like,
been.
yeah. So I feel like maybe something was hiding up in like this area that maybe we didn't see. And I want to make sure it's not like scurrying towards us.
As you look down the way there, you don't see anything approach.
I guess I'll reluctantly drop it.
Your sphere finishes. The top portion here is, like much of the rest of the area, covered in soot now, just totally blackened. And you find that instead of this strange sort of lumpy surface there, it's been replaced with cave wall. All over the ground, you find what looks like coin. Lots of coin. It's blackened, but you see a little bit past one of them, which is dinged on the ground and rubbed off a bit of its soot, and it gives off a goldish sheen.
Does that seem to be the only oddity from the ceiling? Like there's no other similar...
As you look up there, yes, it seems like that strange imperfection about the ceiling is now gone.
Okay.
Removed by the flaming sphere.
Shit. Well, so I've looted this entire body. There's nothing on it. No paperwork that I was looking for, right?
Unless you wanted to take her robes, yeah.
I'll take the robes, and I'll throw them at Lotho.
Just fucking leave her naked corpse there.
Yeah, fucking, she's dead. She's not
Okay.
gonna miss him.
You're handed a set of robes, and they have a hole, just kind of around the back end here, where This person seemingly was given the stab of death. Do you want to add them to your inventory, Lotho?
What am I supposed to do with these?
Look, if a drow wizard was underground and was wearing them, I figure since you sold your pair of robes that they could be good. I don't know.
Okay,
Complain.
While they're talking, I'll take another step forward towards the drop off.
Okay. As you peer down it, you realize that it goes far enough that this hovering sphere of light that you have does not actually touch its bottom. It falls for more than the 20 feet of light and the 20 feet of dim as well.
I look back briefly to my group and I point to my torch and I point to the hole. Should I throw it in?
Why not?
I'll toss my torch in and keep an eye out. See what I can see.
Your torch tumbles, and it falls for about 100 feet before landing in what looks like a pile of bones. All along the way while it falls, you notice that right here, underneath you, over the lip, going straight down, is a heavy amount of webbing.
And I will take a step back. Whatever we're looking for, its lair is in there.
Do you want to try a bit of oil and some fire and see if it does the work for us?
There's a hell of a lot of bones down there.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna be like, okay, well, have fun over there, and I'm gonna start kind of like collecting all the coins on the ground.
Okay.
Can Aldrin loot the other 2 bodies? Or other 3 bodies?
Certainly.
For their gold?
As you look over, you find that
Whatever
they are
it's called.
completely looted already. Nothing but mere skeletons encased. And they're fairly clean. You find only the little bit of skin here and there which has been left on the bones. It's as though they're almost completely dry.
Ugh.
Aldrin's just gonna walk away from that shit.
Okay, you take a cautious step back. Is
I'm
anybody...
gonna
Yeah, what's up?
I'm gonna hold
Lotho?
my hand out and like ask for Jader's torch.
Sure. He hands it to you without hesitation and steps over to look over the side of the hole. And as he does, seeing your torch in the pile of bones, he just kind of murmurs to himself.
I'm gonna step forward with him and I'm gonna hold out the torch to try to burn the webbing underneath.
Ah. The webbing resists the torch. It is fairly new, it seems, and still wet and doesn't want to burn up. But as you continue to hold the torch to it, it does eventually start to go away.
I'm just gonna keep holding it there, but I'm gonna keep looking down further down to see if I can see any like brief movement.
Sure. You can tell from the torch that you've dropped that there's a cave structure that extends further in this direction. At this point, what you're looking at is not represented on the map. This must be narrow or small enough to not really be picked up by its magic. You continue to burn away, and soon you have the top portion of this lip here now erased of web. Before anybody decides what to do next, I believe we'll take a brief 5 or 10 minute break while you guys get your bearings.
Cool.
Ooh, bum, bum, bum.
Looks like we got rich as fuck, boys.
Back in a moment.
I was ready for like a giant centipede thing to come out or something.
Don't discount it yet.
I hate bugs so much.
Same.
Welcome to the Underdark. It's either a
Bugs
mushroom or a bug.
everywhere.
Congratulations. Sometimes it's a bug mushroom. And I'm gonna go fill up my cup with some more coffee, and then I'll come back and we can continue the exploration or the fast evacuation of the cave. BRB.
Yeah, I gotta go move some laundry from the washer to the dryer, so I'll be right back.
Guys, we're not dead yet.
True. Map though, I'm having some serious trouble here with my antivirus. Initiative track, and it's so huge.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's like it's saying that for some reason the initiative track comes from, like for the picture of it, it's saying that it's malware or something.
The fuck?
Shit, what am I trying to say here? For lack of a better term, like the main screen of protection thing is so basic that I can't like go to like programs that it's blocking.
You're gonna have to repeat that. The thing is so basic that it's blocking.
Yeah, well, I can't get to, like, you know how sometimes it'll tell you that you can add an exception. You blocking this stuff, I can't even get to something like that.
Considering my brain isn't processing anything that you're saying right now, I'm gonna have to say you're on your own, homie. I don't
Yeah,
know what that is.
Try and figure it out.
You can always try screenshotting it and putting it into Discord.
Oh my.
So I'm having a really hard time visualizing what's going on.
Like the what am I if I could think of the word, then I would be
Are you on Discord or are you talking about your desktop?
well, it's just no, it's in tabletop that it's messing with the initiative track is all screwed up. You know, it kind of starts off big and shrinks down.
The
Putting in.
tool, like the actual initiative order.
Yeah. Like when you load in, at least for me it does. It'll start off huge and then eventually shrink down as it loads in the picture.
So the tray gets smaller? The initiative
now-
order tray?
Yeah, like right now it's here. Like the corner's here for me. And typically, like all the bags and stuff are still in the normal spot. Like typically, obviously, it's right here.
Well, I mean, if that's tabletop, then have you tried just exiting, verifying your game cache, and then coming back in?
We try exiting completely.
Yeah. I want to get a drink. I'll be right back.
Alright, I'm back. Ooh, the only one that's here.
But not alone.
Oh, well. I was wondering why it told me it just said you were playing Tabletop Simulator.
Because my initiative track isn't changing. So, like, it's every time I try and load into tabletop, it just blocks it.
That's annoying. I'm trying to decide if I can make it till 11:30 or if I should go till
Fuck.
11. What do you
Fuck.
think?
Hey, you do what you think you can do.
I could probably go till 11:30, so just tell them that I have about an hour and a half left. There's a bug on my screen. No longer. Now there's a dead bug on my screen.
Fun.
Carrick has stolen a couple of your dice. And a couple
Changed.
of your dice.
Heck. I thought he just changed the colors of them.
Maybe.
Yeah, he did
Okay, yeah.
because I have one on the table, and then I have two of brown, one that's brown and one that's gray, and then another one back there.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, Bitdefender. She's never done this to me before. Control panel shit.
Either there's something moving first mouse or he's here. So wait, what did Ledger do?
Well, the initiative track right now is screwed up. So, like I was saying, right now the corner of it, like for you, does it, when you load in, does it start off like huge and then as it loads in the image it shrinks down to its normal size? Happened for me.
I'd have to. Let me quickly check. Because I don't remember. I just log in and. No, it just kind of. The board is far out, but. Then all I have to do is scroll in. Oh, are you talking about the map up above?
I'm talking
Oh.
about the initiative track.
Oh. No, mine's the same. It just logs in and then
I don't know, I think it has
everything just
something to do with
pops
the update.
it could be bugs. Ugh.
Go to Windows antivirus, see if that does anything for me. But the fuck, I can't think of the goddamn word I want.
Well.
Is your tabletop fixed?
No. You said something about the cache?
Yeah, if you go to Steam and you go into your library and you right click it and go to properties, you can do verify integrity of game cache.
Exit out completely here.
I remember my friends used to call it cache.
Oh god.
I always knew it was
They also-
cache.
QU.
What?
I'm back.
Your Netflix queue?
Yeah.
Like pronounce it.
A
Stupid.
QU? Oh god, that'd make me so mad.
Oh.
So yeah, you just right click it, go
It's pronounced
did
Quay.
I just fucking smack a moth to death and then it just revived itself? What the fuck? Got a moth of Vecna up in this bitch! You got it for the verify integrity of game cache? Yes, no, maybe so.
Found it.
Nice.
What are you guys up to?
his tabletop is acting all messed up, and the initiative tray is like resizing for some reason. So he's trying to fix it.
When I load up tabletop, my initiative tray starts off massive and then it loads up to the picture. And what I was having happen was it wouldn't shrink down to that like normal size that anybody else would see. This is the first time it's happening, and for some reason my antivirus is blocking it.
Doesn't make any sense.
You can always disable your antivirus.
I'm trying to, but I can't like this. Can't navigate this fucking screen here. No, it's just so useless.
You can always Control-Alt-Delete and try to kill the process.
Try that.
Although some antiviruses disable that option because, you know, first thing a virus would want to do is disable it through there, but
Let's see.
The problem about being the DM is sometimes you have to try and put yourself in the mindset of a creature that wants to eat a group of adventurers. But then, if you don't get to eat them for long enough, you just get really fucking hungry.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how spooky is this hole?
spooky scary.
Well, it's a hole that's filled with
Skeletons.
skeletons at the bottom, so...
Send shivers down your spine.
As
Yeah,
long as it doesn't,
Basically,
as long as it doesn't have too many bugs, it's okay.
we're trying to fight Shelob at this point.
You find a curious lack of dragon-born skeletons, and when we resume, you can definitely do some checks to try and see exactly what you find in there if you want.
By the way, I've got an hour and a half.
1.5, okay. Are you able to get back in there, Lotho?
Yeah, I mean, I
Well,
can't really see the map, but not the.
How far
like,
out
the
does it
map
extend?
here?
So if I draw something like up here, you would see it?
Basically, I see the from this whole section here.
Right. That's all gone. Okay.
I just let me try one thing here. Try uninstalling it.
Uninstalling what? Your antivirus?
Yeah, I'll just use the standard one here.
Here we go, boys.
Here we go.
A sudden sound from Lotho's microphone. Pew!
Let's try this.
That's super weird. Like, antivirus blocking an item in tabletop?
Right?
I don't know,
Calling it
that's-
malware or something. The website that it's based from or something, I don't know. Or the URL associated with it.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just...
Alright, so when we're done with the Underdark, where are we going next? Are we going to Marenheim?
I'm so done with this place, dude.
Mosmer?
We're gonna hunt down Theo and hang him from his socks.
How
Makes
about
so
another
much
visit to the Plague Marsh?
Ooh, we'll throw him in there.
Let's throw a dart at the map. What happens?
Lucian, can you spot in a dart for us?
Wish I could, my friend. I wish I could.
Maybe we can go check out the wastes.
Okay. Well, what we'll do, Lotho, is until you get that fixed, we'll just continue on. I've just made a smaller version of your map here, basically, so we have all this table to work with. And we'll draw
Everything's fixed.
anything there. There we go. Are we all good to return?
Yes.
Here we go.
An hour and a half of spooky goodness coming right up.
Ooh.
Let me just get my book here. Ah, yes.
What day is Halloween this year? Because then we could have like a spooky.
Isn't you mean what day of the week?
Yeah.
Um,
I know it's the
it's on a
31st.
Tuesday.
Oh fuck, Tuesday's good. They get Halloween.
Oh, my face.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. So, as we had mentioned, right before going to break, you had looked over the side, started to burn away some of the web that leads down this wall towards a large pile of bones. What do you guys want to do?
Hmm.
Can I just quickly confirm that there's absolutely nothing else on the remaining bodies?
You saw Aldrin step over and look at the other ones and rummage around on them, and sure enough, as you give them a second pass, yeah, there's nothing on them. They've been stripped of their clothes, their armor. There's no items, nothing. Just small scraps of desiccated flesh inside of the bone here. Or sorry, like on, like within the confines of the rib cage here and there, like little bits that have just not quite decayed and disappeared yet.
So either we burned up the very important note that leads to a possible magical relic, or it's just not in here yet.
Carrick cries innumerable tears.
I have an idea. I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna tell Jader to keep an eye out in the hole. I'm gonna walk up to the body Carrick first was investigating. And I'm gonna say, "Sorry, love." I'm gonna pick her up. And I'm gonna take her to the hole.
Okay. You're just gonna toss her into those bones?
I'm gonna try to toss her into the webbing on the side.
Oh, okay. The body sticks to the webbing here, but it seems that the corpse weighs enough that it kind of unpeels itself at first. The torso sort of comes off, and then it pulls on the arm, and eventually the whole thing catches with it a good deal of the web and tumbles down, landing in the pile of bones, which let out a large clattering noise as their white and sort of grayish pieces scatter all over the floor.
There's no other disturbance.
No, sir.
All we hear is, thanks.
That's my bone collection, you fucks!
Nice.
Well, we're gonna go down there.
Is that what you're suggesting? Well, before you do, just to fill you guys in, I found a note on the first bloke down the way, and he had a note, a wax sealed note actually, with the seal broken, telling him that he had an adequate guard for his duties, and that his instructions were to lead him to something called the Collar. I'm thinking if the Drow paid for an expedition into the Underdark for this Collar, it's got to be worth something. Now, I only had the set of instructions, but I don't have the directions. I thought they might be on her, but they're not. So, unless the Drow are hilarious and they think an adequate protection for the Underdark is one person, I'm expecting that there might be more fresh corpses around here somewhere. If you guys are interested in this collar business, we might have to go down to see what's going on.
Go down. How do we get back up?
Well, we can put down rope with pittons. And
How deep? How deep is the hole, by the way?
100 feet, approximately.
That looks
We have
fun.
enough rope. Is it covered in web all the way around? Yes, right?
No, curiously, just on the one side. Though, since Verth has dropped the body attached to it and everything, it took with it like 90% of the web. So as you look over the side, you can see it's like covered in web now, and the wall no longer is.
Okay. Can I, do I feel confident in my abilities to maybe get a few footholds and go a little, like, skirt around the wall so I can start a pitten with a rope going down?
Yeah, so if you look around at the rock face here, it has little holes and divots in it here and there, and could be climbed. It would just take a little bit of time.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do that. I'll go like here.
Okay.
I'll set a pitten and a rope, and I'll just for the sake of time, I'll gather my 50 and someone else's 50 of rope. We'll
Sure.
just knot it at the middle. I'll pitten at the top, and I'll start slowly scaling down,
Okay.
putting pittons one at a time to nail the rope in place. So in case I don't want the rope secured by only one pitten at the top, in case something happens to it, I'm gonna kind of support it on the way down, as well.
Okay. Using more than one pitten just to be like extra sure.
Yeah, so the rope wouldn't be loose. It would be more like a firm grip that you could use while you're using footholds on the way down.
Nailed in different
You know.
spots. Okay, sure.
Exactly.
Like every
yeah.
10 feet or something.
Something like that, yeah.
So you take great care and time to set up this rope thing. Everybody else who's over here, this is going to take a couple of minutes. So while Carrick sets away after having asked for your rope and begins to do his climbing bit over here, what are you guys up to? Jada
I'm
stares
right
down there and says, "That's a lot of corpses."
Far too many. And I'm gonna be right at the edge, like keeping an eye out near the bottom.
Okay. Lotho, Aldrin, what are you guys up to?
My ears out, open, listening for anything at all.
Okay, sounds good.
Any sort of skittering or...
Alright. You train your ear,
Yeah,
hoping to hear
yeah.
familiar sounds, but nothing seems to happen. You keep ready and on alert. Aldrin, what are you up to?
I'm just standing there trying to figure out what's going on,
Okay.
or waiting for a plan of attack.
A minute or two
There is
passes,
one.
and Carrick, you're near the bottom here. You can easily hop off this last bit of rope and land on the ground. Would you like to do so?
I want to take my flame dagger out and kind of wave it around at the bottom of my feet first, and see if I can kind of make the rope like stop, like instead of going straight down, nail it with a pitten and bring it around sideways a bit, so I don't have to go directly into the bones. I want to kind of go here. I don't want to disturb the bones.
Okay, that's fair enough, but it brings with it its own complication because as you move to the side and try to avoid the bones, you realize that this cave hall that goes further in that direction is filled with them, and small bits of bone can be found going all the way down a trail. As you look down that cave, you can tell with your vision, not from the dagger, which is fairly short, but with your elvish eyes, that it goes out for a little bit and then seems to open up into a wider and larger ceilinged cave as well. The bones are sparse here, and you see what looks like a little, perhaps a human skull, and then a couple of pieces of maybe arm or leg bones over here, and whatnot.
Huh. Okay.
And then
By
your
the way,
vision fails.
I would start to feel like uncomfortable as he's like near the bottom, and I would probably start climbing down.
Okay, sure.
I feel uncomfortable. By the way, can I just get a quick summary of the loot that I gathered, the coins from the ground?
Oh, did you take all of those?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Sorry, I thought you guys were just going to leave them be thinking it was, like, cursed.
Oh, no, fuck that.
Cursed Aztec gold.
Money can't be cursed.
Dude, Aztec Gold, Pirates of the Caribbean, we become liches. I'm so down.
You find 56 gold pieces.
Okie dokie, ravioli. Give me the formioli. Ouch, fuck.
A cosmic sting stabs into your side for using the SpongeBob
Yeah,
meme.
I just pinched myself with the Zippo.
So the coins are they're gold coins. They're perfectly normal, other than the fact that the flames have left soot on them. It's like there was some loot stashed away on the ceiling or something.
Cool. I'm down. I'm not touching the ground yet. I'm just kind of
Okay.
waving the flame dagger, and once I see Verth kind of coming over, I'm still gonna divert the rope sideways so I don't hit the main body of Bones, and I
Okay.
kind of, because I feel agile enough where I feel like I could probably stealth my way through this little minefield of bones.
Okay.
Maybe that's what I'm hoping.
So
So
it
yeah,
ends at about there, so you can dip a little bit into the area there, and then if you let go, it's like a 2-foot little drop down onto the floor at any point.
Yeah, I'm doing it like Stealthosaurus Rex, you get me? Like Jackie Chan.
Okay, that's fair.
Fucking
Though I
ninja.
would mention that hammering pittons into a wall of stone is not exactly a quiet activity.
You just gotta hit me with the logic!
So, anyway, Verth, are you climbing like over to the side then onto the rope?
Yeah, I'm taking the rope down.
Okay.
I don't wanna-
Jader turns over to both Lotho and Aldrin and goes, "If you guys want, I'll go in afterwards."
All right, I'll follow you.
Following me? Alright. Starts to go along and makes his way to the rope as well. Now, Carrick, you're down at the bottom, and you're the closest person to the bones. I'd like either an intelligence or a perception check, please.
Perception! For sure! Oh, it was a 20, then it was a 4. That's a 10 for me, mothercock.
Okay. Looking around, you can see that amongst these bones, most of them are humanoid. You see slender-shaped ones that must belong to elves, others more stout. You think there may be a dead dwarf here or two. And then other bones. Bones that are a good deal larger than a normal humanoid. Though, from your vantage point, you can't properly get up and examine them to find of what creature they belong to. You see one, however, that looks like it might be either like a large skull or some sort of plate or something like that, which is incredibly big and would belong on no dragonborn or human or anything like that.
Cool.
Go back up the rope!
Cool.
Nope.
Cool. Yeah. Super cool. Cool.
Carrick is
Fuck!
looking down at the bones for a second, and he seems to pause in his action.
Flame dagger out. I'm going to. Does the dirt kind of look loose, or is it just straight rock?
Down here, it appears to be mostly stone, but there's little patches of dirt and whatnot.
Do I feel like I could jam a torch into the ground and it would hold, or no?
In the parts with the dirt, maybe, if the dirt is deep enough.
I'll fucking try it. I'll light a torch and boom! Plant
Okay, so
it
you're gonna
into
throw it at the ground?
Not throw it. I want to like jam it into the ground so it stands upright.
You'll have to, like, stand on the ground to do that, though, won't you?
I am on the ground. I landed.
Oh, okay. I thought you were still hanging off the rope. So,
No.
now here on the ground, you go ahead and place a torch into the ground here, finding a patch of dirt. And sure enough, it seems to go down maybe about half a feet before hitting more solid rock. And so you have a torch stuck in the ground that gives out light roughly to about here and into here as well. If you want, you can go and investigate that fairly large bone over there. It's up to you.
I'm gonna wait for Verth to get down here before doing that. I don't think I should put my back to the
No one wants to
tavern.
swim in the bone pile or nothing.
I mean, I'm down. I'm down. But
Tell me there's
I
a
just
platinum piece in there, and I'll fucking get in it.
I just don't want to put my. I mean, are you serious? It's the first time I get to loot, really, because I don't. Carrick's like has an aversion to stealing, so like I get to go full ham now, full rogue. I'm just not gonna put my back to this motherfucker just yet.
That's fair.
No sir.
So, Verth, do you want to land and get to the bottom here?
Is he eyeing the bones like
No,
really skittishly?
Carrick is standing here with his hands at the ready for some sort of unknown force, looking down the hallway, trying to make sure nothing sneaks up on you guys from that direction. It's clear that
I would have taken a knee, and I have the flame dagger in one hand and like my hand on my hand crossbow on the other, basically.
Alright, I'll make my way to the bottom.
Okay, you land behind
And
him
I'll-
here.
Yeah.
Jader's on the rope.
Carrick. Did you
Yeah,
check
why-
if anything
Why don't you
was
fucking
hiding?
scream it, mate? What's going on?
Shh. Quiet. Did you check if there's anything hiding in that pile of bones?
No, I was kind of worried about the giant, empty, ominous cavern down there. But if you want, you can go dive in.
I'll take out my glaive and
And
I'll.
I'm not even looking at Verth. I'm just looking forward, responding to him.
I'll like really slowly like shift through the pile of bones.
Okay. You start to shift around in here. I'd like you to make either an investigation or a perception check. The area down here is cramped, so Jader gets down most of the rope, but he kind of stays there on the wall instead of hopping down, making the place more claustrophobic than it needs to be.
21.
21? Oh, nice. Before I tell you what you find, Lotho and Aldrin, where are you guys right now?
Guess
What
I'm-
he says. Look.
The edge, waiting to go down.
Alright,
Yeah, Aldrin's about the same.
alright.
Just waiting. Down.
A fairly large bone is on the edge of your glaive, but it's covered with like femurs and different bones of some other creature. You go to turn it over so that you might get a better look at it, and the smaller bones cascade off of it and pile, revealing something of which you are sure, though you're not sure that you want to be looking at it. It's the skull of one of those creatures that attacked you back at the way you were traveling further up the different cliffs.
Yeah.
It has fallen prey to whatever has made this its strange abode.
Yeah,
That's
That's
shivers down your spine.
You find
Remember
nothing
those-
else.
those big fuckers with pincers and shit.
Yeah.
You jumped onto what? Well, this is the skull of one.
Well, I mean, that can't be a big deal. We killed 2 of them. Or was it 3? I lost count, to be honest.
We killed one, and one got away.
Cool.
The pile of bones is empty. There's nothing else there other than just bones. These are the cleanest of any that you've seen. Even the ones on the walls with their small remainders of flesh and little bits are completely gone. These are cleaned. These are quite old.
Eh.
You can't say little bits like that after Rick and Morty, man. Little bits. You've got a lot of little tiny mouth. Little bits.
I think we're waiting till everyone gets down.
Okay, sure. You'll have to move forward a little bit, Carrick, lest you force everyone to jump into the large pool of bones.
Yep.
You do so.
Yep. I ain't moving forward. Fuck that. No.
Jader's pressing against your back here as he comes off of the rope and refuses to
kinda
kind of
take-
step into there.
Yeah, I'll take my hand and like kind of edge him forward. But yeah, I ain't moving forward. Fuck that. You remember that
Switch
talk
back to my axe.
Lucian had with us guys, where he's like, "Yeah, sometimes down here, guys, you're gonna have to run instead of fight." That's really weighing on me right now.
I just that thought
Yeah.
came into my head while we were cramped down here surrounded by bones. I don't know why, I just, Okay.
Cool.
So-
Tripping all on each other.
What's the plan?
Let's get back into formation, and Jader and I will. Well, I hope he does. We'll get in front of Carrick, and I'll fall over him.
Okay, the two of you begin to move forward.
Whoops, and get over behind.
As you go forward, you guys get to about here. When suddenly you hear a noise. Oh, wow. Okay. I just rolled 2 20s in a row.
What? What?
Huh?
What? What?
Jader steps
This
down,
shit were
and his foot seems to land on a small bit of web near the wall. Suddenly, you hear what sounds like a rope being pulled to its maximum tensile strength, and see in front as a small piece of bone and nearly his leg as well is like dragged off into the darkness with a swiftness as he triggers some sort of trap. You can see that he leaps backwards, his foot just nearly evading this like strange contraption made of
The
web.
20s were good!
He just stops dead in his tracks there and kind of like stares forward and then looks over in your direction, Verth.
You dodged a bullet there, friend. And I'm gonna take out my glaive once again, and I'm like we did in one of the first caves we were in. I'm gonna use it to kind of brush against the floor in front of us
Okay.
to try to trigger anything before we step on shit.
Okay. Your group goes further in, and you get to about here when your glaive, sure enough, touches on something. Let's see. As it does, I need you to make for me a strength saving throw to hold on to your glaive.
No bueno. That is a 9.
9, okay. The tip of your glaive touches something sticky, and it pulls on it. You're ready for it, already having seen this kind of trick, and managed to hold onto the glaive ever so barely. There's
Sorry, it's 11.
An 11? Okay.
Yeah.
There's something that's really straining to pull it from you, and eventually it seems to actually break off. The stickiness can no longer hold itself to the edge of the blade, and you watch as another rope like pulls off into the distance. Do you guys keep going?
Yep. I'm gonna still do the same thing.
I'm looking above us.
Start poking.
How
with
big is this room
bows.
now? Like,
Okay.
now that we're getting a good eye.
The ceiling starts to open up at about here and becomes even higher here and higher here and higher here as well, getting to about 30, then 40 feet, etc. As you look up, you can see that the ceiling is coated with web, and the walls too. You can see, let's see, pretty far, Carrick. The end of the cave is actually in sight for you. It goes to about here.
Okay.
And it caps off. There's no holes in either the ceiling or in the ground. You can see what looks like a couple of bones that have been left scattered about here and there and there and there. Otherwise, it's just web everywhere.
Well, if it's gonna be anywhere, it's gonna be here. You ready?
How high is the roof?
About 40 feet. You can see the roof in detail. The back end portion of it, like around here, is a little bit more dim, but the rest of it you can see in black and white. It's just heavy layers of web everywhere.
I'm gonna go back to the torch I planted.
Okay?
Add from my water skin of oil, just dip a little bit on the torch to kind of increase the flame.
Okay.
And
Wait.
Sorry, go ahead.
I have a better method for light, if you'd like it.
Are you talking about the globe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's not risk that. It's fine. And I'm just gonna take the torch and fucking toss it as far as I can.
Now, at the
The
back
goddamn
wall,
glow
or at the
stick.
ceiling, or the side walls, or what?
Not like just a regular lob. I'm not aiming for the roof necessarily. I'm trying to illuminate this. And I'll ask Verth. Well, wait. I'll wait to see what this illuminates first.
Okay. You throw it in this direction, and go ahead and make for me a improvised weapon attack as you throw this torch.
Oh, gee.
Just add your dex to the roll.
Adding my dex, that's a 15.
Okay. You send this sailing out. Oh yeah, you guys are level 4, aren't you? And if your intent is to hit the wall, you hit the wall. Okay? So your torch flies true and lands on the mark that you've placed. It sticks to the web against the wall, and the whole thing kind of reverberates from the impact of the torch. And it stays there for a moment until it starts to burn bits of web that hold it above, and then the torch kind of falls from it as those bits of web go up in flame, and it then tumbles to the ground. It burns there, sitting in the dirt. So you now have a torch here, so you can kind of see in color around it, right here.
Alright. Alright.
Oh, sorry.
So,
Hold on, I missed what you said. Somebody used the stairs.
Hmm.
oh, I was just telling Verth, it could be time for Plan B now, although be careful with that thing. If it gets destroyed, you're fucked.
Alright. I'll have it just a little bit above us. And I'll cast Daylight.
Okay. How far out does daylight go?
Daylight has, for an hour, 60-foot radius, and then 60-foot dim light past that.
Okay.
We about to burn Shelob up in this bitch. Day, man. Fighter of the night, man.
Alright.
Hopefully it doesn't like light.
The light suddenly illuminates the room, and as it shines out, you're able to almost peer past the different layers of web, revealing that the ceiling is not quite as close as you would think, and actually past different layers probably goes out 60, maybe 70 feet away, but the whole thing is suddenly illuminated by this orb. And you see what looks like a large, dark mass that moves up top there, and suddenly there's a tearing sound as web breaks apart, and I need everybody to roll initiative.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh.
It's not the best roll. I was hoping for more.
Wait, let me get
I got pretty bad.
Baby. Come on, big dick! Yeah! Woo! Oh, that's a big dick roll right there. Oh wait, +7. Oops, I forgot. I'm at like preternatural speed at this point, by the way, guys. Like, I'm almost godlike initiative. I could go up against Tiamat and maybe outroll him.
Falling from
my
atop the
initiative
ceiling
is a
as the
negative
web
one.
peels away, an incredibly large spider-like creature, half made from spider and half made from a drow, it seems, lands in the center of the cave. You're certain that what you're looking at is a Drider, a creature of legend that is basically created from both a combination of a large spider and the drow. Some of you may know more, but everybody here in your group has heard of this kind of monstrosity which lurks in dark corners of the world. And you can see that the upper half here, composed of a drow, has with it weaponry. You see a sword that is kind of held in a scabbard here, and you can see a bow which is in its hands, and it goes to fire an arrow at you. But before any of that can happen, it's your turn, Carrick. What do you want to do?
Woo! I'd like to do what I did in the Umber Hulk fight, if possible, and light a bolt and shoot it
Okay.
at fuckface over here.
Alright, go ahead and make that attack.
Oh, can I have another D20, please?
Another D20? Oh my god, Carrick. You have a fucking, like, Toys R Us collection over here.
I know, but they're special to each weapon. Woo! Alright, real quick. You're gonna be purple. Yeah. That's gonna be +4. That is 17 to hit.
Your shot flies out, and the creature moves with incredible swiftness. The spidery legs scatter in one direction, moving its whole form to the left, and the shot goes past. Its flame is put out as it hits the sticky web on the wall behind.
Well, that ain't fucking good, boy. Oh, we gonna die now, probably. I'm just there flabbergasted and I end my turn. Like, I don't even understand what just happened.
Okay. Jader is up next, and he steps to the side and does what he does best and hurls a spear at this creature. And...
Oh, we gonna die now, probably so bad.
Oh, well, he rolls a nat 20, so he actually hits.
Get fucked!
Okay. There we go. 9 damage. Not bad. One of the spears digs into the creature. And let's see. It seems to stab into this large spider-like abdomen. The whole thing shakes and shudders, causing the javelin to fall from the place that it had stuck in. And as it shakes, you also see at the end that it comes to a point where a terrible, vicious stinger seems to lurk. It shakes, and you can see that its whole form, not extended fully, just the little bit that pokes out of the back of the abdomen, is probably about as long as a short sword and drips with a blackish ooze that falls to the ground on occasion. It is your turn now, Lotho. What do you want to do?
So, first I want to get a little clarification here. On
Sure.
Flaming Spear, it says I can cast it and then move it as a bonus action.
Yes.
And then if something I ram with it.
So you can use your action and bonus action to create it and then hit a guy, forcing him to take damage immediately, if that's what you're thinking.
That's what I want to do.
Sure. Okay, so let's go ahead
throw
and
it
create
right
your
in front.
sphere. It's
Dude, the flaming spear is gonna be the nastiest thing you could bring to this fight. Pretty sure.
putting it on the side, direct in front, behind it, wherever you want to go.
Right in front of it, and then I'm gonna smash into it.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh.
So let's see here. It has to make what, a dex save?
No, that's the wrong one. Yes.
Okay, let's see what it gets. What's your save?
13.
It passes. Go ahead and roll for me the half damage if it takes half.
Does.
Wow, Will is shit-talking the fuck out of his own group here. This is great. You're a beautiful man, Will.
Takes 4 damage.
4 damage, okay. And hey, you guys had a fucking treasure goblin, so I don't want to hear any of that. Let's see. Is that your turn?
I stay back where I am.
Okay, it's the creature's turn.
Let's see if.
Oh my god. We're about to get anal raped.
Okay. Interesting. The creature runs up into combat range here with you, Verth, but it doesn't seem that you're its quarry. Instead, the drow half reaches up and swipes with its free hand to try and grab the orb from you. You can practically hear a spider-like hiss that comes from it as it does so. And, let's see, it tries to nab the thing from you. Okay. It swipes, and it misses as it tries to get the orb.
Woo!
And you can tell that the creature is shunning the light and has to keep turning its face away from it. Having missed that, it then swipes its sword in your direction. And does a... Ooh, does a 23 hit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You take 9 points of damage as the sword slashes across you. But then things get worse as you watch the shaking stinger start to move, and suddenly it's flying out towards you as the abdomen curves underneath the creature. It rears back a bit, its spider legs extending itself up towards the ceiling as this heavy abdomen swings forward, and it looks like it's going to stab at you. Does a... Oh, wow, never mind. A 10 misses, yes?
Yes.
Okay. The creature is blinded, and it seems like it's just stabbing out randomly. Perhaps the sword striking you so well as it did was a fluke, because it's more like it's just flailing these weapons in your direction. It seems to let out a hiss in some sort of frustration, and after that, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
What kind of action, or is it to kind of like move the orb? Can I control that?
I don't think that you can. It just hovers by you.
Okay, I was gonna ask if I could hover it behind me, but in that case, never mind. I will first of all rage,
Okay.
and
I would like to rage.
I'm gonna step in front of Carrick,
Yay!
and I'll recklessly attack it.
Okay, let's see what you get. Oh! It wanted to be a 20. Ah.
That's only a
I
13.
was itching for
Okay.
it.
Come on, rude boy, come on.
You swing out with, are you still holding your glaive?
I switch back to my axe.
Your axe, okay. And the axe misses, unfortunately. Is that your turn?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. After your turn, Verth, it's up to Aldrin. What do you want to do?
Alright, Aldrin's gonna move in front of Carrick as well.
Okay.
Getting next to Verth, because Verth is in his
Yeah.
rage. So, yeah, I'm gonna make an attack on it. So,
Advantage.
it's the only.
There you go.
Oh, yeah! Does a 24 hit?
Ah. 24 certainly hits. Go ahead and roll that damage.
Come on. Damn it. 4.
4 damage, okay.
Yep.
Let's see. You manage to get a hit here, and as you strike it, you end up hitting one of the spidery legs that seem to crawl the thing around. You break a piece of it, and it lets out like a whitish, greenish, insectoid-like ooze, and little pitter-patters of it fall to the ground. Is that your turn?
Yep.
Okay. It's your turn, Carrick. You're well insulated by your party. What's the what's the decision here?
I see that. I'm going to just loop around right here. And with advantage and sneak attack, I believe, attack this twice.
Okay.
Okay, so here's my flaming daggers. Oh, you fucking cocknubble! Fuck! I don't even know what that means.
You have 2 flaming daggers?
No, this is with
Advantage.
advantage.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right for
next to
rage.
Verth.
I hit with a +6, so that would be an 18 to hit, which I'm
18
pretty sure misses,
Does
right?
not hit.
Okay, we are so fucked. We are so fucked.
Wait, 18 doesn't hit?
Sword.
Ah!
Oh. Oh.
And thinking this thing has fucking witchcraft juju, I'm gonna loop around back, just not understanding what just happened. And I'm actually gonna leap a little further back because it kind of looks scary.
Shoving Lotho into the other wall. Okay.
Right, exactly.
Alright. After your turn, Carrick, Jader steps around over here and goes to attack it from behind with the spear. And let's see.
Advantage.
Okay, throw that on there. He misses, unfortunately. The strike hits, but it's reflected off of this insectoid-like carapace, and the spear point just glances off to the side harmlessly. It's your turn next there, Lotho.
I see my spear to move it. Or would I have to move?
To move the sphere?
Yeah.
You can
I
move
get
the
it,
sphere
yeah.
right now. I don't see why you couldn't. I don't think you have
Cool.
to see it.
Alright, perfect. Then I'm gonna swing it around Jader. I only have
From the
30
other
feet
side.
of movement, but yeah, I'm gonna park it like right about halfway on it there.
Sure.
And then it does, yeah, and ramming, it's gotta make the dex save.
It rolls a 1, so go ahead and roll that damage.
Beautiful.
6 damage total.
6 damage. Okay.
That's a bonus action, so
So you still have your action.
I will
Snipe it in the face.
get sniper with anything.
Snipe it! 360 no scope, bitch!
I mean,
360 ice.
Lotho does a
Nice.
twirl and closes his eyes as he lets the arrow fly.
Just skids past the
if I
back of Carrick's head.
tried to use my sling, would it hit or would I be blocked by Verth and Aldrin?
No, you can attack. It'll just be, if you roll like exceptionally poorly, you might accidentally hit one of them. But that's basically it.
It's not gonna do much to him anyway, so I'll try that.
Can't believe we have to roll a 19, I think, to hit this fucker.
20.
You hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Beautiful.
Roll damage. You sound like a preacher there.
Damage.
How much?
It's 2.
2. Okay.
Very effective.
A rock bounces off of the Drider here. Is that your turn?
Yes, that's my turn.
Okay.
By the way, Aldrin, you asked me to remind you, you have protection with your shield, so you can intercept damage if someone attacks someone near you.
That might
Just
come in
so you
handy.
know.
We're gonna see
Yes.
here which of the creatures around it this thing hates the most. 1
Not
being
me.
Jader, 2 being Aldrin, and 3 being Verth. And Verth, you're the lucky guy.
Hey.
A stinger flies out in your direction. It continues to
Oh,
shield
good.
its eyes from the horrid light that flows around you, but does an 18 hit.
It does hit.
Okay.
Aldrin can use his protection then.
I think it imposes disadvantage, and it might already have disadvantage, so I don't know if it gets double disadvantage.
You take 3
But-
damage as this thing stabs into you,
I thought
but
it would
immediately after, a rushing feeling
Very
of
close.
poison begins to course through your body, and I need you to make the most based con save of your life.
Oh my god, really?
I don't like the sound of that.
Come on, man. At 20.
13.
13. It's not quite. Okay. You fail to save and take...
That actually made me shiver.
You take 34 poison damage.
Woo!
Holy shit.
Are you still conscious?
Yes, I am.
Okay. The creature
Holy
then
shit.
leaps, and it jumps over here for this wall. As it does so, you guys can make your opportunity attacks if you so wish.
If I hit, its movement becomes 0.
Yep, so it won't be able to get away. So Jader makes 1 attack. He
So we're
misses.
still at advantage.
Nat 20.
Nat 20? Oh,
We
sick.
still have
that's
advantage,
that's
or-
the time!
Okay.
Yeah, you have advantage because of Verth. He's raging still.
Roll that damage. What did all
Doesn't matter. I only got
5? No, it's probably not gonna cut it.
7 plus.
A 1 and a 12.
Okay. So how
For
much is that
8.
total?
18.
18. Wow.
That's a pretty purity
Shit.
fucking hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not too bad. Alright, the creature tries to jump away, but you strike at it, hitting one of the legs incredibly hard, causing it to fail in its jump to get away. It turns at you, and then goes to attack you, Verth. The first of which, it lashes out with its sword. Does a 14 hit? Oh, sorry,
Nope.
it would have disadvantage, so... Yeah, that would be a 14 anyway.
Nope.
Okay. And then, after that, it swings over towards Aldrin with its sword. And it misses as well. It is your turn. What do you want to do, Verth?
At the end of its turn, it takes, it's gotta make the dex save again.
Oh, nice. Alright, let's see
To
what
the
we get
sphere.
here. Ah, it fails. Go ahead and roll damage.
Woo!
Reroll this one, please.
That one. Alright, sweet.
Okay. It's a total of 4 damage. Alright.
It's something.
Something. Hey, little bits, man.
Better
Death
than
by
nothing.
1,000 cuts.
Woot.
Okay. Verth, what do you want to do here?
Let out a cough, and I will once again recklessly attack.
Okay.
How's a 20?
Nice.
Is it a nat 20?
No, it's
Okay.
15 plus 5.
Alright, that definitely hits. Roll damage. Ooh, damn, dude.
Nice.
That's 17 damage.
17 damage.
That's a big dick play right there.
You're hitting pretty hard for a guy whose blood is like 60% bubonic plague right now.
I'm not feeling good at all.
Is that your turn?
That's all I got.
Okay. You're up next, Aldrin. What do you want to do?
Alright. Aldrin's gonna make an attack on it.
You have advantage, don't forget.
Yep. So 15, and then
Ooh,
there you
that's
go.
it right
There you go.
That's a hit.
that would be 21.
That hits.
Come
Get
on,
it.
big damage.
That's better.
For 7.
7 damage, okay.
Yep.
Alright, is that your turn?
Yep.
Alright, you managed to get a pretty decent strike hitting here with your hammer. Or is it an axe? I forget.
It's an axe.
With an axe? Okay.
Yep.
You managed to cut off a
That'll
portion of one of its spider legs here, finally. It still has 7 left with which it moves around, but one of them limply kind of like lets out sprays of this weird goop onto the ground, and the whole thing lets out a strange shriek as it recoils. It's your turn, Carrick. What do you want to do?
Where is its stinger exactly?
At the end of its abdomen.
So, like, poopy side, right?
That's exactly the side.
Yeah, coming
Yep.
up is
It's a
there.
scientific term, guys. The poopy side of the animal.
I spent 5 weeks learning about that.
Fucking cocksucker. Okay, so I'm gonna spend 17 feet to get over here. And I want to aim for the stinger, if possible, or at least the general lower abdomen area. I want to really injure this thing,
Go for
noticing that Verth got fucked up. I did lose my advantage, though. Or, yeah, he's not within fight. Fuck, can I retcon that? It's too late, isn't it?
Wait, what?
Carrick
No, it's
would've wanted
just
to-
as long as he's engaged with it, I think.
If I'm within 5 feet of the creature,
Yeah.
you have
Oh.
advantage.
Okay, cool.
Yes, because like Jader would still get advantage and everything on it. So you're good.
Okay. Oh, thank God. 24.
Okay. 24 hits. Roll damage.
That's with the flame dagger, so that's 2d4 plus 3d6.
Nice.
Bull bitch! Get out the way! That's 13 plus 4 damage, so 17 damage on the first swing.
Okay.
Sorry, which one is fire? 2 of that is fire damage, if it matters.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then my magic sword coming in. Oh, you fuck. Oh, nice. 20. No, that's even higher. It's whatever. It's like 26 or something. So I think that hits.
Yep. Roll damage.
Sweet. And that's a 1d6 plus 1. Oh, 7 damage.
Getting the big value.
Woo! And feeling the heat of this shit and this mofo, I'm going to, I have how many feet left? I used 17, so I have 13 left. Right there.
Okay.
Just hopefully out of its range, I think.
The two of you that understand, let's see. Ah, no, there's a couple more turns coming up. Jader, it's his. No, sorry, I'm smoking crack. Yeah, Carrick went, then Jader goes, so we're gonna roll for his attack here. Too many things in the head at once. He fails, unfortunately, and that rolls it around to your turn, Lotho. What do you want to do?
First, I'm going to pull around over through here, through this mosh of people.
Okay.
And then I will become a bear.
Oh, become a bear. Okay, sweet.
I love how you said
And then I will unleash fury.
Ooh, I like that.
So, first set of rolls here. Actually, I'll just bring all this in. So, these ones over here will be claws, then these ones over here will be bite.
Okay, sounds good. Some rolls.
First roll for the bite, 20 to
20
hit
will
there.
hit. Yep.
And then over here, 24 to hit.
Both hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
That is claws and 11 on the bite.
So how much on the claws, sorry?
8, so,
So
19 total.
Okay. The creature looks heavily wounded here, and by the time that you finish your swipes and everything, you manage to break another one of its legs on the other side. It staggers around, and you see that the whole thing is growing weak and is having trouble carrying itself about. Is that your turn, Lothar?
Take that, Arachne.
That is it. Action bonus movement.
Okay. The creature turns over in your direction, Verth, and says some words in Elvish. Two of you, of course, understand, Lotho and Carrick. It says, "I'll take you with me, Lightbringer. Most don't need more than one sting. I suppose you'll have to have two." And suddenly, the abdomen flies in your direction.
No!
Fuck, but it rolls a 2, because disadvantage.
Get fucked, Lightbringer!
To be fair, I did recklessly attack.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll roll a normal roll here then. And I thank you for mentioning that.
Yep.
Here we go.
The honesty's gonna get you killed.
It's a 21 hit.
Yes, sir.
Gonna get you killed.
Initially, you take but 1 damage as the stinger goes in, but I need a con save, please. The
Roll
DC
higher
is
than
15.
a 13, motherfucker. Higher than a 13.
All right.
You fucking cock gobbler. I recklessly attacked. Wow!
Hey! That's a 22.
Okay.
Oh, the dice gods are stressing me out, man.
You take 9 poison damage. Are you still with us?
I'm unconscious now. I had 5 health.
It did nothing else different.
The stinger goes in and pulls out. Verth takes a moment here, and it looks like he's going to swing again when a sudden pallor rushes over his form, and he falls to the ground unconscious. The creature rises up triumphantly as though it's pushing out its chest here. It raises its form with what spider legs it has left, which are not broken, and triumphantly laughs for a moment before lashing out in your group's direction. It swings a sword at you twice, Aldrin.
Yeah, nothing can hit Aldrin though.
We'll see. Let's hope that keeps
the
happening.
rolls that he's been getting.
Okay, so you're fine there. And for the second swipe... Oh, 13 will probably miss. It is...
Yep. Repost.
Time for a death saving throw, Verth.
Wait, he's reposting.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm reposting.
okay, let's do that first. Ooh!
Yes!
Roll
You
damage.
They still have
your,
advantage.
No, because Verth is down.
No,
You
I
don't
went
roll
down.
with advantage.
Oh, poor.
I know. You still roll 2 d8s, because 1 is for the damage and 1's for the Battlemaster.
That's 6
3 plus
plus
9.
12.
Okay. So it's 12 total?
12 total.
Okay.
Wow, that's fucking awesome.
If
like
only
your
we got the,
Verth goes down and
Give
hits
him
the
a
deck,
save.
but
Turn
soon you
thing.
swing out. The creature makes a couple of lashes in your direction. Its sword misses both times, however, and when you swing forward, your axe goes cutting through the Drider's armor. It pierces past the scales of the strange sort of like chainmail-like armor that it wears, and when you pull the axe back out of its chest, the sound of bone grating against metal can be heard. It looks down for a moment and then slumps to the ground. As it does, you watch as the spider legs twitch, and the drow portion looks at this gaping wound. The sword falls from its hand, and it looks at you in disbelief, and the whole thing topples over. You are no longer in combat.
Aldrin killed
Yes! Save Earth!
Melee,
Death save?
revert,
A death saving throw, please, Verth.
and
Get that nat 20,
That's a
baby.
word.
Oh no, you son of a bitch!
So you have one fail.
I'm gonna
Alright.
cast Healing Word on him.
Okay. You are back in the land of the living, Verth. Some magical energy rushes through your veins, and you open your eyes once again.
Hoof a steak!
There's a fucking reference I never thought I'd hear.
I have 7 hit points.
Oh my god.
Oh, I don't feel good.
Is there like okay? So Verse, shut up for a second. Okay, we get it.
The guy who's like probably poisoned and about to die. Can you just fucking be quiet?
Oh my god.
Like asking the real questions here. Is there a treasure hoard around here?
Oh my
Or,
god,
like,
you fuck.
like black or like black spots.
Verth,
or-
the sound of you coughing up your remaining working vital organs is gonna keep the treasure from sounding in my fucking elven Jew ears. Oh, fuck.
Can I grab his ankle?
Yeah, sure, why
Pull him
not?
down? Yeah.
As you look around for treasure, you feel something on your ankle.
Dexterity saving throw.
I'm pulling him to the ground.
Okay, make a dexterity saving throw, please. And make a strength roll for me, Verth.
I'm nimble as fuck.
You just rolled a 16 though. Plus.
19.
Yeah, I'm not that quick. Not
Okay.
today.
You feel something, try to escape, but there is a dragonborn hand locked around your ankle. Verth looks up at you from the ground here.
I'm pulling him down.
Okay. You tumble to the ground prone next to Verth.
I kind of go like, draw me like one of your French girls pose, and I just look him right in the eye, like, how you doing, buddy?
Not so great. And I'll just cough in his face and give him a giant nuggie, and then I'll let him go.
Well, that's just disgusting. I mean,
Ew,
what if I get
what a
some of
bunch
the
of
plague in my
gays.
eye? The poison. What if it goes in my eyes? God.
All right, look for your treasure.
What if that stinger has super AIDS on it?
Oh,
And we're gonna start calling you Magic Johnson now. Don't worry about it, or Charlie Sheen, whichever. I'm gonna get back up because I have his approval, and
Okay.
I'm gonna go prancing around like a little girl. Actually, no, I'm gonna avoid traps. I'm gonna do it carefully, and I'm gonna try to see if I can find a horse or something.
Ah, okay.
That would be great. Carrick just steps on a trap, all of a sudden a rock comes down and crushes it.
Could you imagine? That would. Fun.
Takes one step forward.
Jader comes over to you, Verth, while Carrick is looking around with his elf eyes, and he helps you up and tries to prop you against the wall and do what he can.
Can I make like a medicine check for Verth for whatever good it'll do?
Sure, yeah, roll medicine.
Oh, and guys, whatever the fuck it was using, if you can harvest some of it, might be a good idea to have. That shit seemed nasty.
that didn't feel good.
Yeah, I'll try and harvest it.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
7.
7. As you look
Yeah.
over at Verth, you can see Jader kind of props him against the wall and tries to help him up, and he coughs a couple of times. And you have to wonder whether or not that poison has lingering effects. It's tough to tell whether or not right now he's suffering because he's in a great deal of pain, or if it's actually going to have some sort of permanent effect on him. Maybe you'll know in a day or two. Right now, Aldrin, you go up to the creature and try to harvest what you can from its stinger. I'd like a survival check from you. And meanwhile, Carrick, I'd like either perception or investigation from yourself.
You know it's gonna be perception, baby.
I got a 14.
A 14.
Ah, you cock!
Is that at least a 10?
Yes, it is for me.
Okay. So first up, Aldrin, you go to try and harvest this, but while you do, you find that this creature, despite it being one that you have heard rumors of and whatnot, is not one that you've ever found anything out about when it comes to dissecting it. And as you try to peel back insectoid layers to hopefully get towards this thing, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as you almost break yourself on it.
Please be high.
Oh, fuck.
4.
Okay. You take 1 point of damage as you accidentally pinprick yourself on a part of this creature, pulling back layer and layer of insectoid body parts and trying to cut past chitinous plates. You accidentally cut too far and your hand slips. Your thumb is cut open as you touch something. I need a dexterity saving throw now.
Good thing I'm having an advantage over poison.
Oh,
God.
Do you have advantage
7.
on rolls against poison, or is it just resistance to the damage? That'd be a good time to check.
Advantage first poison.
Okay, so roll again, and hopefully you get a higher number.
Please, for the love of God.
Oh, yeah.
Yes!
Okay.
That
Is
would
it
be
a con
13.
or a dex save? Because
It's
you
a con.
said dex save.
Dex.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
con?
At first it was dex, then it's con, right? Because the first
Oh,
bit is
con
whether or
is a
not he
plus
pricks
3 then.
himself. Yeah, so you failed the dex because you got pricked, but then you passed the con, so you actually take not quite as much damage as you would normally. As your thumb is pierced here, you feel a horrible pain that doesn't come on at first, but 2 seconds later shoots all the way up your hand, and it's running up your arm with a speed like some sort of rabid animal. You take 11 poison damage.
He also has
No,
resistance.
I have resistance
So,
over a
so
poison.
you take 6 instead.
6 instead?
Yeah.
Alright. Guys, don't touch this. It hurts a lot.
This is where you tell Verth he was being a big baby.
Carrick, up towards the ceiling, you spot something. The walls are nothing but just pure web, but up atop there's layers, and you can see that there's something stashed in there. It appears that there's a chest. It's almost like the size of a trunk, in fact.
You fucking know I'm throwing a grappling hook with a rope up there.
Okay.
You better share.
I'm sharing everything, homie. You know that, baby.
Gonna go ahead and make a roll for you. Alright. As you go to throw your grappling hook up there, you manage to kind of pull on it a little bit and disturb it from its web. It dislodges a little bit. I need you to make a attack roll with an improvised weapon to pull it down.
So straight dex.
It's still stuck. Yeah, straight dex.
That's a 17.
This time you latch onto it and manage to somehow, perhaps through great aim or maybe sheer luck, get the little hook of this grappling device through one of the corner handles of the chest. And when you pull with a solid, it pulls away from the web and the whole trunk comes smashing down onto the ground. You watch as the lid, which is held down by some clasp, basically breaks, and the force of it hitting the ground causes the lid to actually pop up a few inches before closing again. The clasp, made of some sort of metal, just snapping and popping off with a couple of nails or screws landing next to it on the ground.
Cool. By the way, I like to think it was great aim, not luck.
That's up to you. Yeah. When people ask later on, you'll be like, I fucking nailed it.
I fucking nailed it. For sure. Okay, so I want to go see if this drow has any cool weapons, but first I'll go through this.
I was gonna say, you're gonna go to the drow now? You're like, ooh, chest, turn around?
No.
Okay.
I'm like a dog chasing cars right now.
Here comes the roll to see what magnificence is found in the chest. Here goes luck, baby.
Rolling that one, it's literally Theo coming out of the chest. Fuck!
Hey, guys!
Hey guys! What's going on, you guys?
Okay. As you pop the thing open, you find a great deal of shiny items inside. It seems that this drow spider creature has hoarded a great deal of items from unfortunate passers-by, and you manage to find piles of coin on top of what looks like little curiosities here and there, which could be of some worth. You can go ahead and add to your inventory, Carrick. Da-da. 75 silver and 48 gold.
Okay.
In curiosities, you find what looks to be a fairly large gem. It's like a little, some sort of maybe like a topaz or something. It doesn't look like one of the more expensive ones, but it's fairly sizable. And you think that this topaz might go for about 10 gold if you get a decent price on it. And the rest of what's in here looks like decent weapons. It doesn't appear that they're of any sort of special magical sort or anything like that, though they are smithed with a reasonable degree of care. And it seems that the ones that have been stashed here are all ones that are in good condition. So if you wish to take them, you can add to your collection good condition weapons. You find 2 daggers and a short sword.
2 daggers and a short sword.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll take because I have 10 daggers wrapped around me in that shoulder belt that I had crafted a long time ago. So I'm going to take 2 of the like common daggers and replace them with the new ones.
Okay.
And the short sword I'll just leave, or maybe Aldrin will want it for metal because I already have 2 magical ones.
Take it.
That's good. You can add that. Keep the condition written down because if you ever sell them, it'll dramatically change how much you get for them.
Cool.
Yep.
Um,
So what's the condition of the
It's
sword?
good condition.
yeah.
Good condition.
Yeah, like these were smithed the other day kind of thing.
Cool. Can I check for any like false doors or wall in the chest to see if there's maybe an additional hidden compartment in it?
Certainly. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Investigation, eh?
Investigation,
That'll be
he says.
That'll be an 8.
Okay. You look around and it seems that the chest is nothing special. There's no hidden compartments or anything. You would kind of guess as much, having seen how it fell to the ground and the lock on it basically broke from being dropped 30 feet. It's nothing special. It's a kind of thing like maybe a trunk that you'd find in a middle-income family or like a soldier's barracks or something like that.
Right. Okay, cool. So I'll just
Meanwhile-
kind of... Oh, sorry, go ahead, guys.
There's one last thing that you were going to check, yes, which was the Drider.
Yes.
Okay.
Just
The
for the
armor
weapons.
has been sundered, and the way that Aldrin killed this thing has made it unusable. However, it does seem to have with it a sword, and you see what looks like a drow rapier here. You can choose to take this if you wish. It is also in good condition. The other thing, let's see, will depend on luck. And,
Rapier could be good for you, Lotho,
Perhaps.
because I don't use primary weapons. I don't have two-handed fighting.
Mm-hmm.
As you continue to look around, unfortunately, you don't find anything else of use. The
God
hands
damn.
are without rings, the neck without necklaces. It seems that just the sword and the horridly damaged armor is all that's available.
You got boned on loot rolls. Fuck.
You certainly did.
Cool. Just by looking at the rapier, can I tell if it's magical or not before I hand it to Lotho?
Sure.
I mean, I'm gonna give it to him either way, but...
Roll your choice of investigation or insight.
You know it's gonna be insight, baby. Oh, baby, a 20! Oh, yeah!
You feel in your gut as though this is not a magical item, though it has been crafted fairly well, and will probably get you a decent price should you decide to part with it one day.
Is there a scabbard on the drow?
Certainly is. It is
Perfect,
attached
so I'll-
to the Drider here if you want to take it.
Or the Drider, right? So I'll kind of sheath the rapier and toss it over to Lotho.
Okay. Lotho, you can add a good condition rapier to your inventory if you wish. At this point, because I think we have not much time left, I think that we will end the session there. You've all survived your fight, and the Drider lays defeated. You have looted a good deal of gold from it in different parts of its lair, and got a couple items here and there as well. and found possible hints to some other strange mystery that might be going on inside the Underdark as well. So, congratulations to you all. You have not died.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Still have a little bit of poison running through your system. Though.
Just a little bit.
May want to go see a doctor.
Now, I would
I
like to
might
share
be
with
able to
you one other piece of news. I am fast progressing on episode 2, and I'm writing like a madman in my off time. I'm hoping to have the whole thing released fairly soon. And so in light of that, and in a slightly celebratory tone, because I'm finally moving on it with a speed that I enjoy, all of you are level 5.
Whoa!
Holy shit.
Woo! Oh my
Um,
god!
my
Uncanny dodge! Sneak attack!
Dude, 3rd level spells.
This is true,
Ooh.
yep. So to the players, well played. Congratulations on not dying. Close one there for you, Verth. To the audience, thanks for showing up, guys. And to all the patrons, you guys are the reason I get to pay my bills. I will see you... Juju is mad. I will see you guys tomorrow for the last session of the week. Otherwise, catch you later. Adios.
Reference here.
Here, just
That's
Shrapnel
call
Steve.
lightning.
Suck a dick.
That's me,
Halfling.
actually.
You bastards!
I'm gonna roll for HP right now.
I am too.
Oh shit, I
Yeah,
forgot.
sure. Let's see what you get. See what you get.
I think this is a... No, that's not a D8. I don't want to cheat now. This is a D8.
gosh, my proficiency is up to 3.
Ooh, perfectly
Whoa, someone just
average.
rolled a... Okay, 5, that's alright. And then...
I
what did you
rolled a
get?
4.
4. Okay, yeah. Anybody else rolling?
We're going. What? What? Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on!
Choose an 11 or 12. Let him choose an 11 or 12.
Come on!
11 or 12. Come on.
Ah!
I don't know, dude. It's tabletop. It's jank. I don't think I can just let you get away with one or the other. That's not how science
the
works,
man
man.
almost died.
Ah!